Hello family, welcome back to another reading with me, your girl, the Empress of Fortune. Today we're working on messages to inspire you. Feeling in the air tonight. I'm feeling it. We need some inspiration up in her. So that DMX song Up in Here is coming through. Y'all gonna make me lose my mind up in here, up in here. Y'all gonna make me go all out up in here, up in here. Y'all gonna make me act a fool up in here, up in here. Y'all gonna make me lose my cool up in here, up in here. Yes, okay. So, you know, if that spoke to you, then this is definitely your reading. But we got 3 piles here. This is gonna be pile 1. This is gonna be pile 2. And this is going to be pile 3. Make sure that you check your timestamps down below. There will be 2 timestamps for each reading. The first timestamp will be for the identifiers, our handy dandy lip bowl right here. The second timestamp will be for the actual reading itself. So make sure that you click the right timestamp for whatever it is that you want to see. If you have any interest in the decks that I'm using in this reading today, all of those will be listed below as well. Thank you so much for spending some time with me here today. Don't forget to like this video and to subscribe to the channel. And I will see you guys in just a second at your reading. Bye. Hey there, pile 1. Welcome. We're going to get into our identifiers right now. So let me just go ahead and put this card over here. Let's see who this reading is for. This is a message to inspire you. Spirit, who are my pile 1 people? Please connect me with their guides, angels, benevolent ancestors, and higher selves, so you can channel the reading for them. Who are my pile 1 people who chose this first card? Pile 1ers. I just wanted to call you guys. I don't think I've ever said that before. My pile 1ers. Who are my pile 1ers? That makes me think of winners. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Who's in pile 1? Who are my pile 1 people? While I'm doing this, make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel because it makes you and I more connected. It makes it easier for me to get in touch with your guides, angels, benevolent ancestors, and higher self, because it's like they already know that I'm pre-approved. When I do private tarot readings, I'll often ask the querent, that's the person who is like asking the question, I'll ask them for their favorite color because it's like a little password to let the guides, angels, benevolent ancestors, and higher self know that I am an authorized entrant into, you know, their consciousness and their psyche. And, you know, sometimes there are discussions among tarot readers and among people who get readings about like, should you do readings on people who haven't, you know, who aren't aware or haven't asked for them? And my answer to that is no, you should not. And obviously you're asking for the reading because you're here, but it just makes it a little bit easier when you are subscribed to me because it's like we have a pre-existing relationship. All right. I think that's it for my pile 1ers, my pile 1 people. Let's see who you guys are. This is a little big pile. A little big pile that we'll see. Maybe like Little Big Town will come out. Who knows? I don't know. We've got here roller coaster. So maybe you're a big fan of roller coasters. Maybe you recently went on a roller coaster. Maybe you have plans to go to a theme park or something. Earrings. I don't know why. Well, I guess I do know why, because roller coaster just came out. It made me think of like somebody losing their earring on a roller coaster or something like that. You might just have a lot of ear piercings. Earrings could be your favorite type of jewelry. You might have just bought some new earrings, or maybe been gifted or gifted somebody else some new earrings or something like that. Maybe you're wearing your favorite earrings right now. We've got The Climb by Miley Cyrus. This is interesting because you know how roller coasters, like they climb up, 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 right? That song is from the Hannah Montana movie, but yeah, definitely this is fun. Like we're getting an inspiring message and already the energy is like getting high up there. Anthony Kiedis, Remy Wolf. So for those of you guys who don't know, Anthony Kiedis is the lead singer of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Remy Wolf is a solo artist Both of them have ties to Los Angeles. I forgot to say this. If you've never been with me before, then you need to know this. If you have been here with me before, then you probably already know this. But the way that these identifiers work is that at least one of these things that comes out in these slips should be really significant to you somehow. It could have also shown up in your life like in the past couple of days or weeks, even if it was just in passing. So like maybe you heard The Climb at the bookstore or at, you know, the car dealership or whatever a few days ago. That could count, and that would be a sign that this is the reading for you, in fact. All right, let's see what's next. Don't forget to like this video and to subscribe to the channel. Yay. Okay, anyway. A Fine Romance by Judith Stills, PhD. That's a book. It's like a sociology book about courtship from meeting to marriage. We have here Ukraine. So maybe you are Ukrainian, maybe you recently read something about Ukraine, maybe you have family in or from Ukraine, maybe you've been to Ukraine, I don't know. Company by Drake. I need some company. Drake featuring Travis Scott. We have here Ted Mosby. He's the main character of How I Met Your Mother, played by Josh Radnor. Here we've got We Got Love by Tiana Taylor featuring Ms. Lauryn Hill. When I was saying Josh Radnor, for some reason it made me think of Trent Reznor. I think that he was, or maybe still is, like one of the band members of Nine Inch Nails. I'm not really sure, but I also know that he does like a lot of composing for like different things. And yeah, I don't know why I thought about him, but Trent Reznor. I think that he did a song for Disney called like I'm Still Here. Maybe it was for like some movie. I don't remember what it was. Anyway, Sex and the City. Sex and the City, iconic TV show from HBO, starring Sarah Jessica Parker as Carrie Bradshaw. Really, Really by Kevin Gates. All my diamonds shine 'cause they really diamonds. Bad bitches in line, they be really trying. Ask me if I'm fly, I say really, really. Yeah, you feel me. All right, whatever. Sookie Stackhouse. She's the main character from the Southern Vampire mystery novels by Charlaine Harris, but also that was turned into a TV show. Another iconic HBO TV show, HBO coming through real strong, called True Blood. All right, if you know, you know. Cheers, Drink to That by Rihanna. Okay, so you know what? I just think it's so funny because sometimes like I pick these slips up like in a very special order. Like I'll let my hand like guide me to what's next, right? And True Blood is the name of the drink that the vampires drink in the Sookie Stackhouse novels. So like cheers, drink to that. It's like you can imagine the vampires like clinking their True Blood bottles together. It's like a synthetic blood substitute so that they don't have to go around feeding on humans, right? And I just think that's so funny. And then also the fact that it came out underneath Ted Mosby. A large part of How I Met Your Mother takes place in a bar. Like they're always at the bar. Anyway, Clumsy by Fergie. Clumsy 'cause I'm falling in love. So in love with you. Swing Swing by the All American Rejects. Swing, swing, swing from the jingles of my heart is crushed by your former love. Katara, the Avatar The Last Airbender. Can you help me find a way to carry on again? Yeah, that song, I want to keep singing it, so Swing Swing by All American Rejects. Maybe also My Paper Heart coming through. Peggy Hill, King of the Hill. So two strong ladies from two different TV shows coming out. Technically a third strong lady right here with Sookie Stackhouse coming out. So maybe you were watching like strong female leads on Netflix recently or something. Oh, can you guys see my doggy? Coming through, he wants some attention over here, always. Every time I sit down to do this, he always is like, pay attention to me instead. Swing, swing, swing from the tangles of my heart is crushed by a former love. Can you help me find a way to carry on again? Bob Marley, legendary Jamaican musician. Jamaica. I don't know why I always want to say it like that, and it's starting to bother me. Number one, One Love. Maybe you recently saw like the Bob Marley movie. Maybe you've been listening to him. Maybe you just practice his philosophy, One Love philosophy. Please Don't Leave Me by Pink. Da 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 da. $20. That is obviously a currency. It's an amount of money, but I also wanted to say, like, my first thought was that's a song by MIA. If you guys don't know, now you know. That's a song by MIA. $20. All Black Everything. All Black Everything. All Black Everything. We've got here Earth signs, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. Okay. So that could be in your big three, Sun, Moon, Rising. It could even be in your Venus. We have here Mahershala Ali. You might also have a Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo North Node as well. I've been really into North Node research lately. If you don't know your North Node, it's supposed to be like the mission that you're trying to accomplish in this lifetime. Anne Hathaway. Actrice. So actor and actress next to each other. Mahershala Ali, Anne Hathaway. Whoa! Oh my God, you guys, that's literally crazy. This says Mia Thermopolis on it. I told you. Sometimes, like, I'm guided to pick out things in a very specific order. Ugh, I love my job. I love my job. Anyway, if you don't know, Anne Hathaway is the actress who plays Mia Thermopolis. Mia Thermopolis is the main character from The Princess Diaries. The books are by Meg Cabot. They turned it into a movie starring Anne Hathaway and Julie Andrews. But that's literally crazy. Oh, I love it when that happens. It feels so special. Here we have sewing kit. So you could be really into sewing. Maybe you had to repair something recently, or maybe you, whatever, I don't know, something about sewing. Maybe you bought a sewing kit recently. 10 Things I Hate About You movie starring Heath Ledger, Julia Stiles. It's like a Shakespearean remake, modern day Shakespeare. Well, I guess it's not modern day anymore. It'd be more like the 90s. Maya Angelou, legendary actress, poet, writer, orator, all of the amazing things. Diamond. I sang really, really earlier, and I had a feeling this was going to come out. All my diamonds shine because they really diamonds. Okay. Diamond, so maybe you're really into diamonds. Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend is coming through right now. We've also got Love is Blind. Specifically, season 1 is written on here. Gemstone, engagement. So you could be getting engaged, or maybe you've gotten engaged recently. I just heard maybe you broke off an engagement, which, who knows? I don't know if that is true or not, but regardless, we have diamond here. So yeah, let's see. We've got voice. That makes me think of The Voice. Raise Your Voice, which stars Hilary Duff. Use Your Voice. Using Your Voice. I don't know. Bantu knots. That's a hairstyle. All my diamonds shine because they really diamonds. Wild Thornberries. Nigel Thornberry. Eliza Thornberry. Debbie Thornberry. Donnie. I don't remember the mom's name. What's the mom's name? If you know, put it in the comments down below. That's a Nicktoon. That was a cartoon on Nickelodeon. King Curtis, aka Fat Kid Loves Bacon. That was a viral video that was taken from Wife Swap about this kid who a new mom came into his house. So like on Wife Swap, the moms like swap families on the show, and you know they'll swap opposites. So for example, on this particular episode, the household where Curtis was, he was like maybe like 8 years old, they really liked to eat junk food. And so they brought in a different mom who was really like a health nut. And so she started throwing out all this food in their fridge, and he gets really upset. So he's like, bacon is good for me. And then he does all this stuff. But yes, viral video. I think it's very funny, but I don't know. The number 18, I guess that could also be 81. Yeah, so either of those numbers could be significant to you somehow. Airbnb. So King Curtis, he gets really upset with his quote-unquote new mom, and he's like, I am leaving and you can't stop me. I'm packing my bags. I remember he's like 8 or 9, but anyway, he like starts packing up this teeny tiny this tiny little suitcase, and he decides to leave. He actually goes to his grandma's house, but like Airbnb is just making me think about that. You know, he definitely is trying to act like he's grown, so we got 18 here, but Airbnb, he's like leaving, like, where are you going? He ended up going to his grandma's house to eat chicken nuggets, but still. If you haven't seen that, I suggest you watch it. I think it's so funny. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. We've got here Harry Potter. Sufjan Stevens, he's a musician. Chicago is coming to mind, one of his songs, and also Decatur. We have here baby girl Lisa. She's from the 90 Day Fiance universe. If you don't know, now you know. Who is this? What is this? De La Soul, music group from Long Island. Okie dokie. We've got here yacht. Maybe you have been on a yacht. Maybe you have plans to go on a yacht. Maybe you own a yacht. Who knows? Hand in My Pocket by Alanis Morissette. Got one hand in my pocket. The other one is, I always want to say, throwing a peace sign, but then also flicking a cigarette. And it's like the same V with your fingers for both, right? Like you do a peace sign like this, and then you're holding a cigarette like this, right? Don't smoke, kids, but you know, this hand sign is like coming through for some reason. And then that makes me think of Peace Up, A-Town Down, right? So Lil Jon and the East Side Boys with it. Yeah, by Usher. Morris Chestnut, he is a very handsome actor. You may know him from Rosewood or The Best Man or many other things. Let's see, hide your kids, hide your wife. We've got viral videos coming through here, okay? So maybe one of your videos, if you are a content creator, recently went viral or something like that. Or maybe you just say that a lot. Maybe you've heard the song, they made a song out of it that also went viral. Signs by Snoop Dogg, Justin Timberlake, and Charlie Wilson. I'm not sure on what I see, just saying don't bug me. But you're telling me this is a sign. Okay, yeah, go, that song is coming through. The Woman King, Viola Davis. Yo, that like actually might be the best movie I've ever seen in my life. Real talk. Jessica Alba, Fantastic Four. Jessica is in parentheses, so like this could just be somebody named Jessica. Jessica from Love is Blind season 6 is coming through right now as well. Okie dokie. We have here Pen 15. Pen 15, that is a TV show. It was on Hulu about growing up in like the mid to early 2000s. Maya Erskine. I don't know how to say her last name, but whatever. Maya Erskine is in there. Bear Claw. That could be the pastry, or it could be the character from New Girl, played by Josh Gad. So New Girl is definitely coming through, not only because we have it here, but Jessica. The main character's name on New Girl is Jessica, so Jessica Day. And I did say strong female leads coming through as well. Pin 15 also goes by that. Afternoon by Max Biencon. Okay. In the afternoon. It's a band from New Orleans. All About Love by Bell Hooks. I don't know why I wanted to say it like that with like a little country accent. That was weird. Although she does have ties to Kentucky, so maybe it's not that weird. I don't know. That's a book. All About Love, obviously. Addis Ababa, capital of Ethiopia. So Ethiopia itself, maybe some Ethiopian food could be relevant to you somehow. Linkin Park. In the End, Numb. Both songs are coming through. That's a band, in case you didn't know. Now you know. What is that song? If you don't know, now you know. Oh yeah. So Notorious B.I.G. is coming through. Also, 10 Things I Hate About You came out. And there's that scene in the movie when Julia Stiles' character dances to Hypnotize on the table. Nana by Trey Songz. Dancing on the Table also makes me think of Love is Blind Season 2, because Danielle's always talking about how she broke her table by dancing on it, or her friend broke it, or whatever. And then also it makes me think about Coyote Ugly. Speaking again of strong female leads, Mariah Carey, here we go. And then a hero comes along. So yeah, Hero by Mariah Carey coming through. Janis Joplin. Okay, all right. I don't know that many of her songs, but I just know, you know, we got some prolific lady singers up here. Didn't she have that song, like Take Another Little Piece of My Heart or something like that? Waterbenders, speaking of Katara from Avatar The Last Airbender, we got Waterbenders here. She was a master waterbender. If you've seen like the live action one on Netflix, the Avatar The Last Airbender, let me know in the comments what you think about it. Good by Better Than Ezra. It was good living with you. It was good. Sister Act, yes, more strong female leads. This movie stars Whoopi Goldberg as Sister Mary Clarence. That's not her real name. Her real name in the movie is Dolores, but she has to get an alias. The Joker by Steve Miller Band. That's a song. Okie dokie. Let's see. What do we have here? Pecan pie. Pecan pie. Lights by Journey. That's a song. Let me know how you say this pecan or pecan. Which one is it? I don't know. People say it different based on where they're from, I guess. Matthew McConaughey. He is an actor. You might know him from like Dazed and Confused or Dallas Buyers Club. What do we have here? Uninvited by Mallrat. That's a song. Smiles are always toothless, but I run out of excuses, so I have to play excited, but I wish that I was uninvited. Shanghai by Nicki Minaj. You bang by. Pop pills, now we Shanghai. 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 All right. Shanghai, China itself could be significant to you somehow. It doesn't have to just be the song. Usman, gotta put him over here by Baby Girl Lisa, because that was his wife. They were like legit married. If you know anything about 90 Day Fiance, you probably know about Usman and Baby Girl Lisa. Usman is a Nigerian musician. Juicy, Doja Cat featuring Tyga. I keep it juicy, juicy. I eat that lunch. Misa rhymes with Lisa. That's fun. Misa is from Death Note. Misa. And I always think it's funny when Misa and Lisa come out together, because they both were kind of in the same situation where they were being used, like totally used. So Usman totally used Lisa. Misa was being used by her boyfriend. His name was Light in Death Note. If you know, you know. But she was totally being used by him. Build a Bear. That is a store in the mall where people go to make stuffed animals. Smiles are always toothless. Yeah, Uninvited by Mallrat is coming through. Maybe you got uninvited to the mall. The Coldest Winter Ever by Sister Souljah. I don't know why I keep putting these little accents on, but whatever. Ring. So yeah, engagement ring, diamond ring, that is coming through for sure. But that also makes me think of like Ring Doorbell and The Ring, like the horror movie The Ring. We have here brushing teeth. Maybe you just brush your teeth. Maybe you are struggling to brush your teeth because of like depression or something. Maybe you're about to go brush your teeth. Jamaica. How do I know? I knew that was going to come through because I said Jamaica for Bob Marley. It was like Jamaica. Okie dokie. Let's see. We've got a few more, you guys. Grand Crew. That is a TV show based in LA about some friends who hang out at a wine bar. We have water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. So that could be your sun, moon, rising, Venus sign. Also, like I said, your north node will accept as well. Smiles are always too less, but I run out. Beauty in the Dark by the Isley Brothers and Mos Def. Groove with you. Road trip. So maybe you're going on a road trip. Maybe you're thinking about going on a road trip somewhere. Or something like that. Groove with you. We have here the Hello Talk app. That's an app where people practice speaking in different languages. You can like text people from all over the world to practice whatever language it is you're trying to learn. Toni Morrison, another prolific writer. Beloved is coming through right now. We have here Bimbo. Toni Morrison also wrote a book called The Bluest Eye that's coming through right now. We've got Marlon Wayans. So he's an actor and comedian. When I said The Ring, it made me also think about Scary Movie. One of the Scary Movies, I don't remember which one it was, they did like a parody of The Ring in there. And Marlon Wayans is one of the people who made Scary Movie. So any of the Scary Movies, 1, 2, I don't know if they have up to 5. I think they definitely have up to 4, I'm pretty sure. Fire signs, whoa, we got a lot of our zodiac coming through here. That almost never happens, but that's pretty crazy. And none of these ever go back in to the lit bowl until like I'm completely done with all the piles. So none of the other piles are gonna get those signs, but that's just funny and weird. Sassafras, Cypress, and Indigo, and Tazaki Shanjay. So we may have some writers in this group. That's a book about 3 sisters, but we got 3 writers come out. We have Maya Angelou, Toni Morrison, and Intozaki Shanjay in here. We also got Bell Hooks, and we got Sister Soldier, and we got Judith Sills, PhD. So actually, we got a whole bunch of writers coming out of here. That's interesting. Set It Off, starring Queen Latifah. That's a movie. All right, and last but not least, this is the very last one. Juggernaut. So you may just be hearing that word around a lot. I don't know. Maybe that means something to you. I know it's also supposed to be like a Marvel character or something. Some things I'm noticing. We've got MC repeated twice with Miley Cyrus and Mariah Carey. So the initials MC could be important to you. You also, I mentioned earlier that I was doing some like North Node research. I've also been researching the midheaven, which on your astrology chart is listed as MC. So you could be looking into your midheaven or your MC line in astrology. We've also got bears here. We've got Build-A-Bear and we have Bear Claw. So bears could have something to do with something, maybe like the Chicago Bears, the Bears, I don't know. January, I forgot to say this when the one came out, but the month of January could be important. That also is for Capricorn and Aquarius. So either of those 2 signs could be important to you. You might live on the first floor, apartment number 1. You could be an only child. You could just be a singleton. You could live on First Street, something like that. You might have like a single parent. The name Morris is coming through very strongly. And I've actually never noticed this before, but so we have Morris Chestnut here. We have Toni Morrison here. And then we also have Alanis Morissette. So the name Morris is definitely coming through. And then we have sister as well with sister act and sister soldier. So your sister, if itself, like you could have a sister, she could be really important to you, or you could be fighting with her, or something to do with sister. And then the letters or the initials TS as well. No, we don't have Taylor Swift in here, but we do have Travis Scott, and we also have Trey Songz. So TS, the initials as well. I actually forgot to mention this. So you're going to see a little bit of editing magic, but with the initials MC, we also have Morris Chestnut. MC, Morris Chestnut. So yeah, I'm going to go write these down in my tarot journal, you guys. If you're interested in getting your very own tarot journal, I did make one for you. The link is down below. Go ahead and check it out if you feel so called. But yeah, I'm going to go write these down in my tarot journal, and I'll see you guys in just a second for your inspiring message reading. Yay! What's up, pile one? Welcome, welcome to your reading. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Don't forget to like this video and to subscribe to my channel. It really does make us more connected when you do that, so it's a little bit easier for me to pick up on your particular energy. So yeah, let's get into it. We're going to get a message to inspire you. This is from the Arts Oracle. We're actually going to start off with this card today. And we have Sonia Delaunay. Sonia Delaunay, you may want to do some research on this artist. Here you go. But it says, don't live to 94 without founding an art movement. Ooh. The practical should also be art. And does your geometry lack poetry? So this deck does come with a little book. I am going to read about Sonia Delaunay from the book to give us more context. Sonia Delaunay was raised in St. Petersburg by educated moneybags relatives who supported her art education in Germany and Paris. Wooed by the Parisian avant-garde, Sonia stayed in the City of Light as revolution loomed over the country of potato. In Paris, Sonia married Robert Delaunay. Together, they helped develop Orphism, a cubism offshoot defined by vivid colors and geometric shapes. The Russian Revolution left Sonia without cash flow from her family, so she supported herself with textile, costume, and fashion design in Madrid, no less experimental than her paintings. Sonia deftly showed that the applied arts are damn fine too. So you guys are not going to hear this because I'm going to edit it out. But I was tripping over my words hella as I was reading that. And I am like a professional reader. So something could be struggling to come out. There could be a little bit of a struggle in your life right now. So if so, I'm happy that you're here so we can inspire you a little bit. But the part where it said that when she got cut off from her family, she started making textiles in Madrid and was able to take the practical and make it into art as well, was really sticking out to me. So if you are struggling through something, then you may be able to find some way to turn your passion into a practicality. It's reminding me of, there's like this card from the Moonology Oracle where it says like your dreams need a practical plan. And I'm not going to be using that oracle today, but it definitely is coming through. So she just looks very, she looks like she's like analyzing, but from afar. It's like there's a little bit of disdain in her gaze, but it's also like intrigued. She's intrigued, but doesn't want to get too close. Interesting. I also like how the pattern on her shirt or her caftan dress is going in different angles in opposition to the circles that are behind her. So this could be about living your life in kind of an oppositional way, maybe a way that other people don't quite understand, don't quite get. That does not have to resonate for every person watching this, but it probably will resonate for some people. don't live to 94. So the year 1994 could be important for some of you guys, but don't live to 94 without founding an art movement. If you are an artist or if you're not an artist, like that doesn't really matter. Art can be found in anything, anywhere, anytime. And also movement is coming through here as well. Like the idea of being a mobile older person, being able to move around, being able to move about, whether that's moving from location to location, like country to country, or if it is being more mobile in your daily life, like being able to exercise and stuff. But founding an art movement is also just making me think of being able to influence the world in some way, create your own school of thought, put something that you created out into the world that can affect other people. But the idea of a school of thought is coming through here. And something that Sonia Delaunay did is taking the Cubism movement and creating it into Orphism. So you can take something that already exists and change it up to be like your own thing. So thinking about like music, for example, a lot of music these days is created from sampled songs from back in the day, right? So artists will take a snippet of a song, they'll change it a little bit, and then they will kind of like do their own thing with it and create a totally new piece of art. And that has been a really big part of the hip hop movement, the hip hop genre. And we're seeing it cross over into, other types of music as well. So you never really know where your inspiration is going to come from. And I think that this is a message for you to kind of like keep your eyes open and to not look down your nose too much at certain things, because you really never know where your inspiration is going to come from. And if you're busy kind of looking down on others or looking down on certain things that you feel like maybe you're wary of, or you're not as in tune with, or maybe they don't resonate with you right away, it doesn't mean that they're never going to resonate with you, So definitely I'm getting the message to like open up a little bit more, and not just open up like talking to people. I don't necessarily mean it that way. I guess I do. When I just said that, I meant like you don't have to like spill your guts to tell everybody all these things about you. I don't mean it in that way, but I do mean like get to know people that you might not otherwise have known. Talk to people you might not otherwise talk to. And it's interesting, so like she's smoking a cigarette, or at least we can assume it's a cigarette in this picture. And one of the things that people really like about smoking is that it kind of acts as a social connector in a lot of ways. Like the people who will go outside for a smoke break, like they'll all talk to each other, even if they've never met each other before, they'll all talk to each other. Or you might have to ask somebody for a cigarette, or ask somebody for a lighter, ask them for a light or something like that, right? And so it acts in a lot of ways as like this catalyst to starting new conversations and to potentially making new friends. And I'm not out here endorsing smoking. I'm just saying what it symbolizes to me in this photo. And I feel like, I just called it a photo. It's not a photo, it's a drawing. But I do feel like there's an encouragement here for you to seek out new people and to seek out different ways of interacting with them. Not necessarily seeking out new experiences. I'm not really seeing that, but new people. And you may become inspired by people that you never expected to be inspired by before. And this is like going in a different way. Go Your Own Way by Fleetwood Mac is coming through right now as well. But yeah, this pattern on her caftan is like really speaking to me right now. It makes me think of one of those like road patterns that you'll see like when people are merging or something like that. So yeah, like merging in a new way, merging onto a different group or something like that. Like you never know where you'll find your people, but definitely I'm seeing this idea of even the circles within a circle and the half circles here, it's like merging and immersion are coming through. Some of you guys may be interested in doing like an immersion program somewhere or something like that. Gaining new perspective is coming through as well too, and changing the way that you normally would act in the world could also change the way that you see the world and bring you some new inspiration too. So let's go ahead and put that over here for now. And we've got a couple more pre-pulled oracle cards that we're going to use, and then I'll get out the tarot. So the first one we're going to see is here, unplug by taking a social media detox. Yes, getting out in the world. That's exactly what I was saying, get out in the world. And I promise you guys, I don't look at any of these before, like right now. I haven't seen what any of them said. I didn't know anything about that, but some of you guys may need to take a little social media break and get out into the real world and touch some grass and talk to some people. Go, lay down in the park and look up at the clouds. I'm thinking right now about, on Netflix, there's a new adaptation of this book called One Day. They did make a movie out of it. Anne Hathaway was in the movie, and she came out in our identifiers. So I'm going to see if I can find her or not. We had a lot of them, and they're like over here on the side now, all jumbled up. Here she is. That was easy. But yeah, One Day, it was a book first, and then they turned it into a movie starring Anne Hathaway and that guy, Joe so-and-so. Is his name Joe? He was in that movie 21. He was also in Across the Universe, that Beatles movie. Ambika Mad and Leo Woodall. I don't know how to say his last name. If you know the guy Joe's name, please put it in the comments so I can see it. But anyway, and there's this one point in the miniseries on Netflix where the two characters' names are Dexter and Emma. They're like laying in a park and they're like looking at the clouds. There's actually a few times in the movie where they're like laying in the grass looking at the clouds. And they are kind of unlikely bedfellows. They are unlikely friends. They are unlikely connections. And you yourself could end up making some quote unquote unlikely connections if you would just like put your phone down, go touch some grass, go and meet some people who you maybe didn't expect to meet, or talk to some people who you've never would have spoken to before, So there's definitely a message here that like there are people out in this world who are going to inspire you if only you would take the time to go out into the world and meet them. Okay, so yeah, get out. There's all the different types of ways. I know like a lot of people do suffer from like social anxiety, regular old anxiety, or seasonal depression, or, clinical depression, things like that. That kind of can keep you from connecting with other people. There are a lot of low stakes ways to get to know people these days. I know that it doesn't necessarily feel like it. I know it kind of can feel easier to develop parasocial relationships over the internet and, just like tweet or send messages to your mutuals on whatever social media platform, but it is definitely worth it to like get out there in the real world and meet real people. You can try like the Meetup app. You can try, joining a club, like a running club, or going to a cleanup day at the beach, joining some sort of activity that is for the community or is something that you already enjoy doing. I promise you that there are groups of people who are open to having newcomers come. And we're not talking like cults or anything like that. We're just talking about like activities. Like you can go do some community service with somebody or like with a group, or you could, go like work at a food bank or whatever it is. Like there are all different types of ways to get out there and find people, and you never know where you're going to find inspiration. So try something new is definitely coming through. We have here, this is from the Getting Into the Vortex deck by the Esther and Abraham Hicks people. This says, my relationships will change when my vibration changes. You guys, I swear I do not look at these. I swear I don't look at them. Cross my heart and hope to die. It says, you are living in the time when fewer people will attempt the impossible task of pushing the unwanted far enough away that they will be left with only that which is wanted. It is the time when more people will come to the realization that what they have been seeking is not a change in the behavior of others or in the world outside of them, over which they have no control, but instead an understanding of their own vibrational relationship with Source, over which they have complete control. So yeah, you definitely need to change your vibration a little bit. And it's interesting here that we have like these circles with like the radiations coming out of them. It's like the ripple effect. Both of these cards have these circles, like little radiations coming out of them. So you deciding not only to change your own circumstances, but like getting out into the world, meeting new people, going to different places, and doing different things, like that will change your vibration, but it also will have a ripple effect and can like really positively impact the world in ways that you don't even know about yet, and ways that you also may never even see, but that doesn't mean that it's not having a positive impact. So definitely, you know, take some time away from social media. Something that I like to do, and that I would invite you and everybody to do if they so choose, I like to have the first hour of the day at least without my phone. So, you know, if you need your phone to wake up or something like that, like you have your alarm on it, you can always like put it kind of farther away from you so that you get up and then you go and you turn the alarm off and you don't pick up the phone. You just like move on with your life. I spend the first hour of my day like reading, taking my dog outside in the backyard or whatever it is, you know, but I try not to touch my phone for the first hour because it just helps me to feel productive throughout the day, you know. Neurologically, there are a lot of rewards to using your phone. Like we get a lot of excess dopamine in our system when we use our phones, and it is unnatural dopamine when we could be getting more natural sources of dopamine like sunshine or hanging out with friends or things like that. And so when you kind of hit a dopamine high really, really early in the day, you just continue to crave it for the rest of the day. And so that's how people can kind of get sucked into like a social media wormhole or like a time period of several hours where they're just sitting scrolling on their phone. So try and start the day off if you can without your phone for at least an hour and see if that like changes your mood at all. I definitely feel like it has changed it for me, but you know, just a suggestion. I invite you to do it if you want, but you know, you have free will, so do whatever you want to do. But thinking here about like my relationships will change when my vibration changes. Like we've been talking all about meeting new people and creating new relationships this whole time. And this is doable. And I know sometimes it can seem scary. And I also know sometimes it can be hard, especially like the older we get. The impression is that it's harder and harder to make friends. And to some degree that is true, but to another degree it's really not. I think it's as hard as you allow it to be, it's as hard as you make it. So if you take the opportunity to go out and try new things, to try and exist on a new vibration, then people will be attracted to you. People who are like-minded, people who are interested in those same things, they will be attracted to you and you can make new connections that way. But if you're doing like the same old things all the time and you haven't met anybody worth being your friend or who you're really interested in being friends with, doing those same things that you always do, then nothing's going to change. You're not going to meet any new people doing that. So you have to change up something about your routine. You have to change up something about the way that you interact with the world, and it will draw new people into you. So yeah, some of you guys may have kind of like a negative opinion about the people around you or about people in general. And I know that that's like growing to be more and more common as our world evolves. So you may want to take some time to work on that. And the best way to change your opinion about different types of people is to spend time with them. So again, like go and spend some time with people who you maybe normally wouldn't spend time with. Like, and if you feel like you maybe like look down on a certain type of person, like maybe do something to like go and help those people. And it can end up changing your opinion about them because you'll be learning more about the types of circumstances that they go through. One very specific example that I'm coming up with right now, and I guess that's meant for somebody, I don't know. Shout out to my subscribers. But like the song Under the Bridge by Red Hot Chili Peppers is coming through. Anthony Kiedis actually did come out in our identifiers. So let me see if I can find him too. But Under the Bridge by Red Hot Chili Peppers is coming through, and it just made me think about like the type of people who live under bridges or who maybe are like on Skid Row. Those are typically people who may have like drug problems or things like that. And you know, like there are people out there who run things like needle exchanges and who help people who have overdosed and stuff like that. And like you might have, for example, you might have like a negative opinion about people like that, but you really like never know what people have gone through. And you may actually like, if you were to go and help, for example, at a needle exchange or at like a homeless shelter or something like that, it could really change your opinion about different types of people because you'll start to interact with them more. You'll start to hear more of their stories. You'll start to see them more as people rather than as like disadvantaged beings. And it can really change the way that you see the world. So definitely like get out there, whatever it is. Like if you have an idea right now, like if there's a type of person, right, that you're thinking of right now who you don't really have the best opinion of, then this reading is challenging you to go and find a way to safely interact with those people and see what happens. Because you never know what you're going to come away from that experience, like what new perspective you're going to come away with from that type of experience. So, yeah. All right, we're going to get into the tarot now. I'm using the Zillick tarot. Maybe it's the Zillich tarot. I don't really know how to say it, to be honest, but yeah. I've been wanting to say something about this last line here, does your geometry lack poetry? And I haven't figured out exactly what to say about that yet. And I know that it's coming, but like geometry to me, you know, it's like the difference between something like pointy. Of course, geometry talks about circles too, but it feels like pointy when I think about geometry. And then poetry feels like it flows more, right? And so her having taken cubism, Sonia having taken cubism and turned it into Orphism and using all these circles and stuff, I think it's like treating people with a softer edge rather than such like a sharp idea or sharp pointed edge towards others, having like a softer opinion and a softer approach. And also kind of recognizing not only like the ripple effect, but like we all are part of the same ecosystem, you know, and we're all a lot closer in circumstances than we may like to admit, you know, like we're not all so different after all. We have here the Wheel of Fortune. We have the Nine of Wands. Well, tell us more about this message, Spirit. We've got the Princess of Swords here. Give us more for this message for Pile 1, Spirit. Is there anything else in this message, Spirit, for Pile 1? We have the Eight of Wands. We have the Ten of Discs. Anything else in this message, Spirit? We have the Fool. I'm trying to think, like, there was a song that I was listening to earlier, and there was, like, something to do with fools. Well, okay, there were two songs that I was listening to earlier. One of them, like, it's very easy for me to say what that song was, but the other one, I'm trying to remember what it was. I have no idea. The first song is Fool of Me by Michelle Ndogicello. That song has been coming up a lot recently. I don't know what that's about. But Spirit, can you clarify the Seven of Swords, please? Okay, so I'm seeing that some of you guys may have gone through a difficult time in a relationship. It's very interesting because it's like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh at, I'm not laughing at you guys. I'm literally laughing at myself because I'm like, this part of the message is so different than the message that we just had before. So I'm like, I was really confused by it at first. I was like, what does this have to do with anything that we were talking about? And now it's like, I get it. I think some of you guys may have had a really hard time in a relationship, and it may have seemed kind of like everything was going really well, and you might have been really happy in the scenario, and some of you guys may have even been married to this person or may have started a family with this person. You may have had like a house together or something like that, and you could have found out something negative about them, like deceitfulness, or like they had lied to you about something, or maybe they were already married for some of you guys to somebody else and they didn't tell you. And I'm just seeing that you kind of had a hard time about it lately. Some of you guys could have even found out about this on social media. I'm definitely thinking about like the whole Risa Tisa thing, like who the F did I marry, right? And of course, like not all of you guys had to be in like committed relationships like this. Some of you guys may not have even been in a relationship with this person at all. You may have just kind of like envisioned a future with someone and then you kind of found out something about them that changed your mind. Changed your mind about it. Or, you know, things kind of got shut down. Maybe there was a rejection here for some of you guys. But this is a message to inspire you, and Spirit wants you to know that you don't need to plan anything. You don't need to try and plan your way forward out of this, out of whatever this negative scenario was. You don't need to try and plan your way forward out of it. What you do need to do is explore. Some of you guys might have really been into like science when you were younger. Some of you guys may have just been really into experimenting. You need to experiment. Even if you weren't into science when you were younger, like you don't have to go and like get the beakers out and like play with fire or whatever, you know, in a little chemistry lab. You don't have to do that. You can just literally go and explore the world. And I think that Spirit wants you to take, in some ways, like a more childish or a more childlike view of the world and like start to approach things with wonder again. And if you can do that, you'll start to see just like the world is really full of so many beautiful things, so many beautiful people, so many beautiful types of people. There's so much out there. Like you have to understand that you're a student of the world. And that things can change really quickly. They can change on a dime. And like, there may be a little bit of woundedness here, but you're so powerful. You're so powerful, and you can start over at any point. You can start over at any time. You can try something new at any point and at any time. And if there's ever this feeling of like things in the world are futile or they don't matter or they don't make sense, just know that like, you are so much more powerful than you think that you are. And adventure is going to be your new best friend. We have so many positive cards here. We've got the Wheel of Fortune. We have the Nine of Wands. We have the Princess of Swords, the Eight of Wands, Ten of Discs. We have the Fool. This is like beautiful. And some of you guys may have like trust issues that you're trying to overcome and that you're trying to deal with. Some of you guys may need to learn how to say no to certain things. Some of you guys may need to learn how to maybe exercise better judgment when it comes to different people. And there are so many opportunities out there for you to learn that. To learn how to use your voice. Voice came out in our identifiers, if I can find it. But yep, I'm finding these so easily today. And like, if you watched the identifiers, you know how many we had. We had a crazy amount. There were so many of them. So it's like very weird that I'm finding them so easily. And I think that that's like a metaphor that you'll find your new people a lot more easily than you think that you will. All you have to do is kind of like rise to the occasion, you know, and explore and treat things as a learning opportunity. Especially here with this Princess of Swords, treat things as a learning opportunity. And understand also that like life goes through ups and downs. And if you're at a down right now, you will be up again. Like the up is coming. You will be up again. There's no doubt about that. And so on your way back up, have fun. Dance, sing. I even just heard like scream, laugh. Go spend more time outside, be in nature, spend more time with your family. If you can, and if you have one, even if they don't live close by. Some of you guys, like, if you want to take a trip, road trip did come out as well. But I'm not really even seeing that you have to do that with this Six of Swords here in reverse. Like, you could just be talking to them on the phone or like writing a letter or, you know, connecting with them over FaceTime or something like that. For some of you guys, like ballet is coming through for some reason. Like this person is over here like leaping, like plie, like a little leaping. And then this here is making me think of like a tutu. So ballet is kind of coming through right now. Just dance in general could have a much happier effect on you than you may realize. Some of you guys might want to like go to like a Zumba class or cumbia, I'm hearing. Bachata. There's all kinds of dance out there, so, you know, whatever it is that you want to do, like even like line dancing. For some reason I just heard like Cajun line dancing. I don't even know what that is. Like I know what Cajun is, like I know what a Cajun person is. I didn't know that they had line dances. I'm sure they do. Every culture does have like some sort of cultural dance, but that's just so funny that I thought of that. But you know, you, again, like, and I'm mentioning now different types of people, right? Like that you maybe never would have interacted with before. So dancing is like one of the very like primal ways that we as humans interact with the world. You know, like babies can do barely anything, but like they can move to the beat for sure. You know, they can goo goo, they can gaga, they can draw some squiggly lines. If you hand them a pencil and some paper, they can draw some squiggly lines and they can dance. Okay? So dancing is like one of our first forms of self-expression. And you may want to go dance somewhere, whether that's out at the club or taking a dance class or going out to like a dance meetup or something like that. So one of these cards just came out of the deck. We got here the Magus, the magician. There are so many tools online that you can use to go find like a place to dance or something to do. I'm also getting gardening for some of you guys could be a really good way to not only to meet people, but to like get back in touch with yourself. And I've been talking about like touching grass this whole time. So like for some of you guys, that's very, very literal, like gardening, taking your shoes off, walking around in some grass or in a forest. Grounding through the earth is like going to be really important for you. But yeah, like you're just so much stronger than you give yourself credit for. You're stronger than you know. And we did have like the kind of idea of a strong female lead come out in the identifiers. And like that's just like, that's the person that I'm getting that you are. This is main character energy, but it is also the energy of someone who recognizes their want and their need for community, and maybe they're not fulfilling that need for themselves at this time. And so you have the power to go out and to get a community, to get the kind of community that you want. And you may have some feelings about yourself, like self-sabotage type of feelings, or like I'm not good enough, or maybe the type of people that I'm looking for won't accept me, or maybe they're not really out there, or whatever. And that's bullshit. It is. It's not true. Don't let the past hold you back from an incredible future. I remember when I'm thinking right now about like, do it for the gram. She ain't gonna do it, right? That's coming through right now. And like, I've taken social media breaks a few times, and most recently I took one for a year from Instagram. I just decided to delete Instagram from my phone, to stop checking social media. And I'll be honest, part of it was because I felt like there were two like really strong reasons why. The first one was because I personally had this like enormous crush on this person, and I felt like I was checking their social media too much. And so I was like, I'm just gonna take the temptation away, and I'm not going to have Instagram on my phone, so I'm not tempted to check their social media. And of course, that was really nice. But then the other part was because sometimes when you post things, it kind of feels like okay, how do I put this? I guess it's actually 3 reasons. And it's like reason 2A and 2B. So 2A is almost like you're kind of like posting things so other people can see them. It's like, here's all the things that I'm doing in my life. Look. Right? And it's not necessarily with the purpose of like making other people jealous, although I guess for some people it is. For me, it's never really been like that, but I can see how for some other people it is. 2B was because it kind of felt like I was allowing people this window into my world that they didn't earn and that they didn't deserve to have. And so, I like made this post on my Instagram story and was like, hey guys, I'm going to be leaving IG for a little while. If you already have my number, feel free to call and text me anytime. But if you don't, then, feel free to DM me and ask me for it so we can keep in touch. And then I left Instagram for literally like a year. And some people did keep up with me. Some people did make the effort to actually keep up with me, call me, text me, FaceTime me. Meanwhile, other people I literally did not talk to for an entire year just because I deleted one app. And it really gave me a lot of perspective as to who really like cared about me, who my real friends were, who really wanted and like kind of quote unquote deserved to have a window into my life, and who didn't. And that's not to sit here and say that like I feel like there is this like almost bitterness that can come from social media itself, and especially an app like Instagram. And for you, by taking some time away from whatever social media apps you like to use, it can really help to kind of like wipe that bitterness away. And I'm not trying to, make any reading or anything about me, and I'm not even trying to say that like I was bitter about anything. I wasn't. It was just more that I am kind of a nomad, so I tend to move around a lot. And so like when I'm in town, I'll see people, and then when I'm out of town, it's almost like those relationships almost like I wouldn't say they cease to exist, but it's like they only exist in the ether. And I can feel that you, as the viewer here, want deeper relationships. And so I'm just giving you a tactic or a strategy that you can use to help cultivate those deeper relationships. And it's not like when I did that social media detox from Instagram, it's not like I closed the door on anybody, you know? Like I gave everybody an opportunity to connect with me, and I reached out to people too, of course, right? I just think that for you in particular, interacting with people in the real world and getting like real sources of dopamine is going to be very impactful. So here are some genuine sources of dopamine that you can use. Whether that is, you know, eating good food, exercising, going out into the world and getting some sunshine, laughing, you know, going to a comedy show, whatever it is. There are lots of different ways. Doing art, of course, you know, there are lots of different ways that you can go out, meet people, get real dopamine, and kind of like get out of that virtual slump. So for some of you guys, I'm also seeing the idea of like a poetry slam or like a poetry circle or a writer's group or something like that. I did mention we had a lot of writers in the identifiers. So some of you guys might be writers yourselves, and a writer's group could be actually pretty good for you. But yeah, I think that if you open yourself up to new experiences, you're going to end up finding a lot more stability and a bigger community than you ever even imagined was possible. And it's going to happen a lot more quickly than you thought it would, honestly. Like, it's like you're cutting through all this negativity, and all of a sudden all of this like beauty rushes in. All of this like fun and happiness and family just like rushes in, and it feels like a brand new person. I don't care, I'm in love. Same Old Mistakes by Rihanna, aka Same Old Mistakes by Tame Impala, coming through right now. But yeah, like, you got this. You can do this. No matter how hard it might seem, just find something that you like to do or that you've always wanted to do, and then like search on Meetup for groups of people who like to do the same thing, or search on the internet for like places to go where they do those things. You know, like even if like, let's say for example, you like to play video games, there are places where they have like video games consoles in the bar. Like you can go and play video games with other people at the bar or at the library or whatever. There are places that you can go. Some of you guys really need to investigate third spaces. And I know that it's kind of hard, especially in the US, to find third spaces today. It feels like everywhere costs money. But honestly, like, it doesn't cost money to volunteer. It may cost time. It costs time to volunteer, but it doesn't have to cost money. So that is just a little tidbit of advice for y'all. But your people are out there. You just have to make some moves to go and find them. I hope that this message inspired you. And you know what? Like, this is a community too. So you can even find people, you never know. You can find people like maybe in the comment section. If you want to comment down below, like maybe your general area, wherever you're located, or some interests that you have, like, you guys can comment on each other's comments, and maybe you'll make a new friend. Like, you really never know. The internet is a fascinating place, so you can find people online and take it offline as long as everybody's being safe. So yeah. All right, y'all. Don't forget to follow me. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and to like this video. Leave a comment down below. Let me know which pile you picked and how you felt about this message. And I'll talk to you later. I love you all so much. Shout out to my subscribers. I love you all. See you later. Bye. What I do, pile 2. Hey there. Welcome in. You're here with me, the Empress of Fortune. We're about to get into our identifiers. So let's go ahead and do it. If you meant to go to the part straight away with the cards, then you want to use the other timestamp, the one that says pile 2 reading. that will take you straight to the part with the cards. Alrighty. We're going to use these slips here as confirmation. So you are supposed to choose your palette intuitively. So if, you know, none of this resonates with you, then go back, meditate a little bit at the intro and pick a different palette. Otherwise, there may just be some other videos on my channel that could be better suited for you at this time. Regardless, we're going to use these to help you confirm that this palette is in fact for you. So palette 2, the way that these work is that at least one of the things that comes out on one of these slips should be really familiar to you, should be really significant to you somehow, or it could have just shown up in your life in the past few days or weeks. I am also hearing like last couple of months, so you'll know. It will strike a chord, whatever it is, it will strike a chord with you. So yeah, let's get into it. Spirit, I would like to connect to my pile 2 hooligans. I don't know why I wanted to call you guys hooligans, but I just did. And let's see. I would like to connect to my pile 2, my pile 2lians, their guides, angels, benevolent ancestors, higher selves. And we'll see what this message is about. We're trying to get a message to inspire them. So who's in pile 2, Spirit? Who are my pile 2 people? While I'm doing this, make sure you like this video. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. When you subscribe, it makes you and I more spiritually connected so that I have more accuracy when it comes to your particular situation in the reading. So like I just asked about your guides, angels, benevolent ancestors, and higher self to come through. When you're subscribed to me, it's like a password that lets them know that I'm like a safe person to let through. So yeah, let's do this. Spirit, who else is in pile 2? Don't forget to like the video, hit the thumbs up, and to subscribe. Had to say it twice for pile 2. Anybody else in pile 2? Anybody else in pile 2? All right, we're good. Let's see. Who are my pile 2 people? I'm gonna put this here to the side. And let's gather. Let's gather around. Gather around, children. That makes me think of the Pied Piper. Ballet slippers, OPI. So ballet slippers, you could just be like a ballet dancer. You may have some messages in pile 1, in addition to pile 2, if this resonates with you. But ballet slippers, that could be like literal ballet shoes. It could also be the nail polish color from OPI. It's like a very pale pink. What do we have here? We've got painting. All right, so maybe you're a painter. Maybe you recently saw a painting that really like struck a chord with you, or you bought a painting, or maybe like you went to a museum or something recently or something like that. I don't know. What do we have? We've got blues, or just blue. So like maybe the painting was blue, or this could be blues music. I'm also thinking about Blues Clues. I just found out that they made a Blues Clues movie. Didn't know that, but yeah. Annoying. I hate when that comes out, but yeah, annoying. I also want to say like you could be wearing blue, you could have blue eyes. Anyway, annoying. Maybe somebody called you annoying. Maybe you called somebody annoying. Maybe you've been having a really annoying day, a really annoying week, a really annoying couple of months. I don't know. Maybe somebody is like in your aura and it's really irritating you. There could be like a buzzing sound somewhere for you. Like maybe you're hearing a buzzer a lot and it's kind of annoying. Buzz Me In by Remy Wolf is coming through. Strawberry ice cream. That could be your favorite flavor. Maybe you recently ate some. Maybe you have some in your fridge right now or something like that. Doctor Strange from Marvel. I believe played by Benedict Cumberbatch. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not really like into the whole Marvel superhero thing, but for some reason it's supposed to be in there, so it just is. I don't know what that's about. Anyway. International. It just made me think of like International Man of Mystery. Isn't that Austin Powers? I don't know. But like, you could be international. Like maybe you have dual citizenship or you travel around to different countries a lot. Maybe your parents are from 2 different countries. Maybe you immigrated somewhere. Maybe you're going on an international trip soon or you just got back from one. This Charming Man by Stars. That is a cover of a song by The Smiths. Okay, we've got here Angus Thongs and Full Frontal Snogging. That's a book. It's from the Georgia Nicholson series by Louise Richardson. It's like this teen girl who like writes in her diary. She's very funny. No Frauds. Nicki Minaj, Drake, Lil Wayne. Wheezy F Baby. Throat chakra. So you could be experiencing some throat issues. Some of you guys might have like a throat cold, a sore throat, or you could have just cleared out your throat chakra. Breaking Free, Zac Efron and Vanessa Hudgens from High School Musical. Soaring, flying, there's not a star in heaven that we can't reach. If we're trying, oh, we're breaking free, oh, breaking free. Yeah, I want to keep saying that song, so that's very relevant here. BoJack Horseman, that is the animated TV show on Netflix. That could also just be like BoJack himself. We have Cinna here from The Hunger Games. That was Katniss's stylist in the movie played by Lenny Kravitz. We have lobster, so that could be like your favorite seafood. You might have just eaten some lobster. It also makes me think of that line from Friends, like "You're my lobster" or whatever. I never watched Friends really like that, so I don't really know what that means, but I hear people say it. The number 38 is here. So that could be your age. I guess 1938 could have some sort of significance to you. I want to say 3838. I don't know. I don't know what that's about. It just is here for some reason. And then we have Annie Mac. She is a British radio DJ. Soarin'. Oh, I wanted to say also, like, you might have just bought an international plane ticket or something. I don't really know, because Breaking Free, the soaring, flying part, and international, like, went together in my mind. Give Me Something Real by Ashford and Simpson. Give me something real. Okay. That won't fade in the light of day. All right, The Incredibles. That's a Disney movie. Disney Pixar, to be exact. Mr. and Mrs. Incredible and their family. Privacy. Speaking of The Incredibles, they had to keep, you know, their secret identity. So privacy was very important to them. So you might have increased your privacy recently. Maybe you just got a new passport, I want to say. Maybe you had to get a new ID or like new locks or a new password or something like that. New Cameras. I Don't Want to Be by Gavin DeGraw. That is the theme song for One Tree Hill. It was also just a very popular song. I don't want to be anything other than what I've been trying to be lately. Insecure. That is a TV show from HBO. I don't really think they had a theme song, but they did have they did like break a lot of new artists on their show. So they did a lot of like playlists and stuff. Costa Rica. You could be from there, your parents could be from there, maybe you just visited there or you're planning to visit there or something. Number 23, Jordan. That also makes me think of What's My Age Again by Blink-182 and also that song 23 by Miley Cyrus and Mike Will Made It. Pull Up by Abra. Pull up to your crib, riding shoddy shoddy. Famous Last Words. Maybe you heard somebody say that recently. I don't really know what that is, but maybe you read it somewhere. 8701, the album by Usher. Also those numbers, 8701, could just be significant to you somehow. That could be like an address or something. Legally Blonde, iconic movie starring Reese Witherspoon as Elle Woods. They did also turn that into a Broadway musical. I believe it actually started off as a book. Nobody's Supposed to Be Here by Deborah Cox. That just makes me think about how like when Elle Woods, main character of Legally Blonde, she gets into Harvard Law School and she goes there and she sees her ex-boyfriend. He's like, what are you doing here? He's like, you're not supposed to be here. And she's like, no, silly, I go here. We love that movie. That like is one of my favorite movies ever. Anyway, Rules by Kill You Manti. Rule number 1, if it's about me, at me so I can see it. That's a song. Okay. Work from Home by Fifth Harmony. We could work from home. Oh, oh. That just made me think of the pandemic, 2020 times, 2020, 2021. Graphic novel. So you could be really into graphic novels. You could have written your own graphic novel. Maybe you're reading one right now. Tina Belcher. She is the eldest daughter on Bob's Burgers of the Belcher family. She's the one who wears blue and is like very awkward. Boys in the Hood. That is a movie based in LA by John Singleton, directed by John Singleton. Lemonade by Gucci Mane. Lemon on my chain with the G cuts. Or is it V cuts? I think it's the V cuts. Fresh Air. So that makes me immediately think of the NPR segment, podcast, I don't know what you would call it, because they do play it on the regular radio, but they also turned it into a podcast. You also definitely could want to watch Pile 1. Energy by Drake. I got enemies, got a lot of enemies, got a lot of people trying to drain me of my energy, trying to take away from a nigga. Okay, what do we have here? Fall Out Boy. Fall Out Boy. Of all the gin joints in all the world, that song is coming through. I don't know if that's actually what it's called, though. Which is a line from Casablanca, of course. A little less 16 candles, a little more kiss me is also coming through. Yeah, that song is called Of All the Gin Joints in All the World from that album From Under the Cork Tree. We have here Peanut Butter and Jelly. So somebody could be dealing with some jealousy. You also could have just eaten PB&J. That could be just like your favorite type of sandwich. Hyphy by Federation. That's a song from the Bay. Hyphy music from the Bay. Somebody in your life could be kind of jealous and it could be kind of annoying. Doug. Do 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 do. That's a Nick tune. Doug Funny. The Gift, the album by Beyonce. Alrighty, crikey. Let's go with this one. Amber. That could be 311, or that could be Amber from Love is Blind. There are like multiple Ambers on Love is Blind, but that one says Love is Blind season 1. But there's also Amber from season 4, and then there were 2 Ambers on season 6. New Orleans, Louisiana. We've got here When You're Good to Mama by Queen Latifah from Chicago. Chicago's a musical. It was made into a movie. Queen Latifah is in the movie along with Renee Zellweger and Catherine Zeta-Jones. We have here Lil Sebastian. I don't know why I said it like that. Sebastian also makes me think of that movie She's the Man with Amanda Bynes and Channing Tatum, but Lil Sebastian is a mini horse from Parks and Recreation. Flight 99 by Taku, Matt McWaters, and Masego. So yeah, like that flight energy is coming through real strong. Maybe you just got off a flight, maybe you're about to take a flight. Something to do with airplanes. Helena by My Chemical Romance. I knew the pop punk was coming through because I talked about Fall Out Boy. Well, Fall Out Boy also came through here, so. Pop punk energies. Oklahoma. Speaking of pop punk, All American Rejects. They're from Oklahoma. Again, you may want to watch Pile 1 because they did come out in Pile 1 as well. So you could have messages over there for show. I'm getting that for show. Cheerleader by Omi, the Felix Jane radio edit. Oh, I think that I found myself a cheerleader. You could have been a cheerleader. You might have just heard that song. Adinkra. Those are symbols, a type of cloth from Ghana in West Africa. Teen Girl Squad. That's so funny that Teen Girl Squad came out and we had cheerleader right here because like, cheerleaders are literally like a squad, usually of teen girls. Guys can be cheerleaders too, of course. So can non-binary people, duh. But when we think of cheerleaders, stereotypically we tend to think of teen girls. We have here Countess Leandra Lesseps from Real Housewives of New York. Money can't buy you class. Picture by Show Crow and Kid Rock. It's a little country duet action. Silicon Valley, another HBO show. I actually don't know if that show had a theme song either. I don't remember. School of Rock. That's both a movie and an actual place where you can like learn how to play musical instruments. Movie starring Jack Black and Miranda Cosgrove and other people. Monstera, that's a type of plant. I'm sorry, guys. I know you guys can hear my dog. He is very jealous right now. Speaking of peanut butter and jelly, that's who I was talking about. When I said jealous and annoying, I love my dog more than anything, but he just always does this whenever I sit down to do these readings. He wants to get my full attention. He's over here with this little like stuffed animal toy that he really wants me to throw for him, but every time I try and do it, he starts growling at me. So he thinks we're playing. We actually just came inside from playing in the backyard. We were playing fetch, and it wasn't enough for him. He needs more. So I apologize if you guys can hear him. And that just made me think of, I apologize if this message gets you down, that I'd CC every girl that you'd CC around town. International Players Anthem. So International Players Anthem by UGK is coming through right now. We have here Chucks. So those are supposed to be Chuck Taylors, the Converse shoes. But it also makes me think of like Chuckles, chucking something like throwing it. Taste by Tyga featuring Offset. We have here S'mores. I almost thought that said Simon. So the name Simon could be something. Strobe Light by Little Dragon. That's a song. Strobe Light. Ultraviolet Blue. Death Cab for Cutie. That's a band. Eyes in too deep. Ultraviolet Hue. Las Vegas. They have a lot of strobe lights in Las Vegas. So, little connection right there. We have Aang from Avatar: The Last Airbender. We've got 1894 by Amber Mark. So Amber came through again. So somebody could be named Amber. Something could be colored Amber. Something to do with Amber coming through the show. Living Single, more Queen Latifah energy. She was the star of that show. Living Single in a 90s kind of world. I'm glad I've got my girls. Keep your head up. What? Keep your head up. That's right. So yeah, Living Single and Friends. Friends is like literally a copy of Living Single. Look it up. But Living Single is the OG. It's the original. It's the best. Queen Latifah played this girl, this young woman named Khadijah. She owned a magazine called Flavor. And she lived with her friends in this brownstone in Brooklyn. And yeah, it was so cute. It was like literally they literally stole Friends from Living Single because they saw how popular Living Single was amongst black viewers and they wanted a white version because that's what they did back then. So yeah. If you like Living Single, then shout out to you. If you like Friends, go watch Living Single. Casino by Houndmouth. That's a song. Dealers in the boot life got me hooked on freebasing. Bacon. That makes me think of Kevin Bacon, but it could also just be actual bacon. Now I'm thinking also of like those beggin bits or whatever it is that dogs like, those dog treats. We Used to Be Friends by the Dandy Warhols. That is the theme song for Veronica Mars. A long time ago, we used to be friends, but I haven't thought of you lately at all. Wake Up in the Sky, Gucci Mane again. So we have 2 songs by Gucci Mane here, Lemonade and Wake Up in the Sky. This one is featuring Bruno Mars and Kodak Black. So you could really like Gucci Mane. You could have like heard some songs by him recently. You could have gone to like a concert of his recently. 93 Till Infinity by Souls of Mischief. That's a song. Bon Iver, AUATC. That stands for Ate Up All Their Cake. That's a song. We have Foundations by Kate Nash. Fingertips are holding on to the cracks in our foundations, and I know that I should let go, but I can't. The Players Club, that's a movie. If you know, you know. We've got here Big Rich Town by 50 Cent featuring Joe. That is another theme song. So we got like 3-ish theme songs here. Actually 4, excuse me. So Big Rich Town, that's the theme song for Power. We've got We Used to Be Friends by the Dandy Warhols. That's the theme song for Veronica Mars. We have I Don't Want to Be by Gavin DeGraw. That's the theme song for One Tree Hill. And then we also have Breaking Free, which was like the most famous song from High School Musical. I guess you could say it was like the theme song. 2 more here. Let's see. Soarin'. Tea ceremony. So you could have like your own tea ritual. This is supposed to be like a Chinese tea ceremony, but you might just have your own tea ritual that you do. And then last but not least, we have edibles. This is like tea and crumpets. Some of you guys might have done tea and crumpets in like the UK. You could be from the UK. You might do like a high tea or just an afternoon tea kind of ritual or situation. Something else that I'm getting from here, Avatar: The Last Airbender, they did make some graphic novels, so you may have also been into those. And then something else was that, New Orleans recently got their own mini horse. So like Lil Sebastian is a mini horse. He is kind of like the mascot of Pawnee, which is the town from Parks and Rec. So New Orleans recently got their own kind of version of Lil Sebastian. His name is Patches. So the name Patches, or just like mini horses in general, could mean something to you. Also the initials AM, Annie Mac and Amber Mark. So AM could mean something to you. You also could be watching this in the AM, like the morning time. But yeah, okay, let me go write these down in my tarot journal. I did create a tarot journal for you guys. I also made an abundance journal. It is literally so cool. Go check it out. Both of those links are down below in the description box. And I'll write these down in my tarot journal, and I'll see you guys in a second for the reading. Hey there, Pile 2. Welcome to your reading. Let's go ahead and get into this message to inspire you. I'm super excited. We're just going to go ahead and start off with this card here. I do want to say it did come to my attention during the identifiers that some of you guys may also have messages in pile 1. Don't forget to like this video and to subscribe to my channel. It really does make us more connected, and it does help the video to reach other people on this platform who may need to hear it. So do the community a favor. Do your fellow man, woman, non-binary friends a favor and hit that like button. Anyway, yeah, you may have some messages in pile 1, so you may want to also watch that. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. We're just going to go straight into the oracle cards, and then we'll get into the tarot afterwards as well. Artemisia Gentileschi. I don't know if I'm saying that name right, but interesting. Oh, okay. Dangerous. That song Dangerous by the Yin Yang Twins is coming through. She's so dangerous. She's so scandalous. I love the scandal. Okay, yeah. Okay, anyway, so this card says, history has your back. Society stabs you in it. Use your talent like a weapon. Don't let convention confine you. All right, do we have some dangerous women in here? Ariana Grande style? What's going on? I'm definitely getting like unconventional thoughts, feelings, lifestyle, maybe going against the grain a little bit. We did get the Players Club, came out in our identifiers, so you guys may be a little bit alternative in your lifestyle or in your type of dress. Some of you guys may use sexuality to kind of get what you want or to get you farther in life. I know that she's not actually doing this, but when I first saw this picture, it did almost feel like she was like pulling the front of her dress down. I don't think that that's what the picture is supposed to be depicting, but like that was the vibe that I got from it. So yeah. And then it's like these men are over here like whispering to each other and also whispering to her. Maybe they're whispering about her. People might tell you secrets. Like people might tell you stuff. They could overburden you with certain things, like knowledge that you don't really care to know, or people might just like tell you things really easily and might say like you're really easy to talk to or whatever. You might have a lot of secret knowledge. Oh my gosh, I'm thinking about Mean Girls, where they say about Gretchen Wieners, like her hair is so big because it's full of secrets. So you might have hair full of secrets. You might just be the type of person where people feel really comfortable around you and want to tell you things. But little do they know, telling you stuff, you know, now you have all this information, and information can be dangerous sometimes, especially when it falls into the wrong hands. And I'm not saying you're the wrong hands. I'm not saying that at all. But I am just saying that sometimes, you know, when you have the right information, you can kind of like catch people in a crosshairs. Some of you guys could be into like blackmail. And I'm not saying that like seriously, like you're actually like really blackmailing somebody, but you know, there are like blackmail kinks and stuff out there. So some of you guys might do that kind of thing. I could definitely see this being like my OnlyFans models, my Instagram models, my stripper girlies, my stripper guyses, stripper non-binaries, you know, that kind of thing. But that does not have to apply to you. Obviously, it's not going to apply to everybody here. But you might just be like the type of person who's like, I'm going to get in where I fit in. And I'm going to do what I need to do to make this money, to get where I need to go, blah, 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 blase, blase. Okay? Yeah, that's what I'm getting here. And I definitely feel like you're ahead of the curve. You're the type of person who's ahead of the curve when it comes to certain things, and you tend to have a freer mind and also possibly like a freer body than other people do. It says here, history has your back, society stabs you in it. So I feel like what you're doing now, in the future, other people are going to be like much more accepting of whatever it is that you're doing now. Whereas right now, they might not be so accepting of it. There might be some sort of stigma around what it is that you do. But in the future, it's going to be either more common or just more acceptable, or it's going to seem like a really good path towards freedom or towards like equal rights or whatever it is, like whatever that may be. I feel like people will see whatever you're doing as like very liberating, like kind of like feminist iconography or whatever it is. Yeah, using your talent like a weapon. Like, you know how to get what you want. You know how to work it. Work whatever. Shake what your mama gave you. You know how to work whatever it is, you know? That doesn't have to be your literal body at all. It can just be like, if you have a talent, you know how to use that talent to get where you want to go, to get what you want. It could be like your looks. You use your pretty privilege maybe to get where you want to go or what you want. It could be that you use your body to get where you want to go or what you want. Literally, like whatever tools you have, you know how to work them. You know how to use them. And that is like honestly more than a lot of people can say. A lot of people have assets that they do not know how to use, whether those are physical assets, mental assets, creative assets, actual financial assets. People will kind of like let those kind of things go to waste. My mom and I were just talking the other day about how she had this cousin who ended up like marrying this really rich person, and they were like on their way towards getting a divorce, and he was really old and he ended up passing away before the divorce could go through. There was no foul play. Don't worry about that. There was no foul play or anything, but she ended up coming into all of this money, And like within 2 years, all of it was gone because she didn't know how to handle it. She didn't know what to do with the assets that she had been given. So there's just there are some people out there who don't know how to work with what they have, whether what they have is a little or a lot. Some people can, squeeze $1 out of 15 cents, and some other people have millions of dollars and they throw it all away. Like those people who win the lottery, a lot of them do not end up having long-term wealth because they don't have the financial literacy skills to know what to do with it. Speaking of, I did create an abundance journal. It is in the link below in the description box. It will help you on your financial literacy journey, so go check that out if you feel so called to. But anyway, you are not that type of person. You are the type of person who knows how to use what you have to get what you want. And that is extremely powerful. You are like a very powerful person, definitely getting some not danger. I'm not scared of you, but I think that you're formidable. You are a force to be reckoned with, for sure. There's no question about that. Don't let convention confine you. You don't really, you might care what other people think, and there are possibly people talking shit about you behind your back, or even maybe to your face, and you're like, you know what? I don't really give a fuck, because at the end of the day, I'm living the life that I want to live, and I have the lifestyle that I want, and who are you, first of all, to judge me? Second of all, do you even have half of what I have, bitch? Dang, for real, but for real. Okay, let's see. Blue coming through. Blue did come through in our identifiers. Let me see if I can find it. But as you can see, her garment on this is blue. Blue also stands for the throat chakra in the chakra rainbow. So we did get throat chakra as well. You may be the type of person to speak your truth. And if you're struggling with that right now, then this is encouragement for you to speak your truth. Even if people think you're annoying, even if, it might hurt a little bit. You, I think, are the type of person, I don't know if I would say you're brutally honest. Other people might consider you to be that way, but I feel that you have this way of seeing the world that is very, almost cutthroat is the way that I'm getting it, but it's the girls who get it, and the girls who don't. I feel you don't really have time for insecurities. That's not to say that you're not insecure, that you can't be insecure at times. I think everybody can, but it's you probably get over it pretty quickly, or you're able to put it to the side in order to get done what you need to get done. All right, finally, oh my gosh, it took me a really long time to find that. So I found throat chakra first, and then it took me a really long time to find blue or blues. You might have some hidden sadness that you don't really let other people see, that it kind of takes a long time for you to bubble to the surface, for you to talk about. You may have some things kind of buried really deep and kind of hidden away. Maybe they're bad memories, maybe you just feelings that you just don't want to divulge to people. You might have something kind of heavy on your heart, and I would not be surprised if that was the case. You might feel ostracized a lot of the time, or other people just not only don't understand you, but the word I want to use is eschew, E-S-C-H-E-W, they eschew you. They throw you away, or they put you to the side, or they don't include you. And so some of you guys could be in therapy for that. Others of you guys might be considering therapy for that. Others of you may just not be at that point yet. Trigger warning, some of you guys may have had issues in the past with deliberate self-mutilation and things like that. Some of you guys could be heavily tattooed, or you might just really like tattoos, and piercings and things like that as well. You might have a very alternative look to you, or alternative lifestyle. You could really like hats, head wraps, things like that. Some of you guys may even, if that doesn't describe you, you may be part of an alternative type of religion that people don't really understand. Some of you guys may be interested in Islam or learning about Islam or something like that as well. All right, I'm going to read about Artemisia gentileschi. Okay, Artemisia Gentileschi put a crack in the Baroque ceiling by painting one in collaboration with her artist father. Though denied important artistic education and experience on account of being female, she still pursued figure painting, inspired by the works of family friend Caravaggio. Her dramatic, sometimes violent works saw immediate recognition, but were then neglected until 1970s feminists stepped in. I knew there was like a feminist situation going on here. As a teenager, Gentileschi took her art instructor to trial in a high-profile rape case. She won, but not without going through hell. Some read her biography into her subsequent paintings, which often depict biblical heroines kicking ass and taking heads. So yeah, we got some badass energy up in here. My wounded warriors, or just general badassery. Not taking any shit type bitches. That's what we got in here. And bitches could be anybody, not just women. But yes. Okay. All right, my badass bitches, let's go. Let's get our other oracle cards here. We have practice self-compassion. Yes. Sometimes it's really best to be gentle with ourselves, like as gentle as with ourselves as we can be. I know sometimes that can be hard, especially if we are used to having like a harder outer shell, or if we are used to like other people not taking us seriously or whatever. We might feel like we have to put up this front at all times, and sometimes it's not even a front. Sometimes you just grow hard. You grow hard because life has been hard to you, you know? But that doesn't mean you can't be compassionate toward yourself, especially when it does come to the things like self-mutilation and things like that. Definitely you need to have some compassion for yourself. We have here, my true success is measured by my alignment. This is from Getting Into the Vortex by the Abraham Hicks people. It says, alignment with source, being inside your vortex of creation, becoming one with the true expanded version of you, is the ultimate selfishness. And yes, in that state of alignment, all good things must come to you. Every rocket of desire that you have launched will be fulfilled. True success is not the attainment of things, the achievement of tasks, or the achievement of financial abundance. True success is the coming into alignment with you. Yes, selfishly aligning with your desires, your clarity, your confidence, your knowledge, your love, with yourself. So yeah, there is kind of a feeling that women are supposed to put everybody else first. And this does not just have to go for women, it can go for people with anybody with people-pleasing tendencies as well. But women especially are kind of like raised, especially in American society, but really all over the place, to be people-pleasers and to put themselves last. And you, if you're not already the type of person who is happy to put themselves first, you're learning that it is okay to put yourself first. And sometimes, many times, it's even necessary to put yourself first. And that's not to go around saying like, fuck everybody else. But what it is saying is like, put your own oxygen mask on before trying to help other people. You know, you have to fill your own cup before you can pour into other people's cups. It's important for you to be compassionate with yourself and to focus on yourself and your own growth, especially if you are kind of like in a hole. And that hole could be any kind of hole. It could be a mental hole, an emotional hole, a financial hole, a physical hole. You know, if you're feeling trapped somewhere or in some situation, or even like trapped in your own body for some people, it's important to be compassionate to yourself. The number 57 could be significant to some people, and it also is reminding me about like, that can be like kind of around the time when a lot of women are kind of like done going through menopause, and it's like you've you've gone through something that was like very, very emotionally taxing, up and down, you know, a lot of changes to your body, to your life. And now, if you're lucky, you have a lot of time ahead of you where you don't have to deal with that bullshit anymore. Anybody who menstruates knows it's some bullshit. And so you could just be coming to terms with like what it means to be a person with the type of body that you have, and entering in a new stage of appreciating your body for what it is, for what it can be, what it can do for you, and learning to love yourself again, especially if you are, you know, a survivor of assault of any kind. It can be very difficult to get back in touch with your body. And that's not the only case in which it's difficult to get back in touch with your body. I've known people who have, you know, like lost pregnancies, or who have gotten into accidents and become disabled, and who have a hard time getting in touch with their body again. So for everybody here, you need to have some compassion for yourself, for your mental and for your physical, and trying to connect those two, because you may have mastery over one or the other, and it may be hard for you to find balance with both. So compassion will help you to do that. You know, it's not always fight, 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 you know. For some of you guys, it could even be fight or flight, but it doesn't have to be those. It could be sit still, stay here, and practice self-compassion. Some of you guys, like playing music or listening to music, could be really helpful as well. Or planting, gardening. I'm telling you, you really may want to watch pile 1. There's some messages, I think, for you in there as well. The self-compassion and like these little hearts that are on this, these plants, those are really echoing each other right now. And so it's like growing a new lease on love. Maybe like relearning what love is, relearning what self-love is, relearning what familial love is, or what friendship is, or, you know, things like that. And like thinking now about how I said that other people might like tell you secrets, or you might know a lot of stuff about other people that, you know, you could use against them if you wanted to, or that could be dangerous in the wrong hands. And it's kind of like understanding why that might not even be like the best idea to do. And it's not saying that like you would do that, you know, but just like understanding who you are as a person, and how sometimes like we're better than that. And sometimes like holding on to grudges is really just not the answer, you know. Spirit, my pile 2 people who chose Artemisia gentileschi, what's their inspiring message here for the day, for this video? We have here the Lovers in reverse. Interesting. It's interesting. Let's see. We have Death, the Death card here. We've got the Hanged Man, the 9 of Discs. We've got the 9 of Wands in reverse. Anything else for this message, Spirit? The Star in reverse. Some cards keep coming out and they like flip over, but then they flip back. We've got the 3 of Cups in reverse. We want an inspiring message, Spirit. We're here for inspo. Inspo, inspiration. Let me just rearrange these really quick. All right. Is there anything else that wants to come out right now to finish off our inspiring message? We have the Magus. That was the last card that came out in pile 1 too. All right. So we'll see if we need any more tarot cards. But as of right now, this last card here, the Magician, is just letting you know that like you can be anything you want to be. You have the tools to be and do anything you want to do. And it's like the sky is the limit. But you're limiting yourself if you don't have compassion for yourself. So if you can practice self-compassion, then you open up the world to whatever it is that you want. Okay? What I'm seeing here is that you guys might be in a place where you feel either like you have no choice or that you are encouraged to go back to a superficial connection or a connection with somebody who you know is not right for you or who has really disappointed you in the past, who things have not worked out with in the past. This could be somebody who you had like a really long break from, whether this is a lover or a friend or a family member. You almost feel like your inner child wants to go towards them. And I think that you know that this is probably one of many decisions, and that other decisions may be better decisions. That's how I'm going to put that. You have free will, you can do whatever you want, but Spirit wants you to know that like you are doing just fine without this person. You're doing just fine without this situation. You are strong, you are independent. Even if you don't feel independent right now, you are. And that in a situation where you're hurt or where it seems like there's no hope or it seems like nobody has your back, that your curiosity and your like vivaciousness and your spirit is really inspiring to other people, and it can be inspiring to yourself too. You can be your own biggest muse, and you can take inspiration from yourself and from your circumstances and from even the future. You can think about how what you're doing now can free up space, time, and perspectives for people in the future. And something that I'm seeing here is with this Princess of Wands, it's like learning how to be a leader. But like sometimes there are leaders who don't have any followers. Sometimes there are leaders who just kind of have to trust their own intuition and do what's right for them. And that, I think, is what this card here is talking about, like when it says like getting into alignment and being selfish with everything, trying to like get your vibration right so that other people can like rise to where you are. And sometimes you have to just trust yourself and trust in the path that you've been given. And it might seem easier sometimes to turn around and to go back to the thing that's comfortable or to go back to the thing that you know. But that's not what your path is. Spirit wants you to know that like your path is still ahead of you. It still leaves a lot to be explored. There's still a lot that you can do, need to do, and should do. And it does not involve turning back towards a dead end situation or a dead end relationship or a dead end job or whatever that is. That is like kind of, I'm not going to say it's, I guess I could say it's calling you back. Like sometimes we are tested. The eights especially can speak about tests, and particularly this 8 of Cups. This is like an emotional test to see if you've grown enough to move past this. And when we find out that we haven't grown enough to move past something, that's when we tend to return to a place that feels like quote unquote safe or comfortable, but like we left it for a reason. We left it because it wasn't safe, and we left it because it wasn't comfortable. And I know that there is like that saying of like the devil you know versus the devil that you don't. And in the future for you, even if you may feel like there's not a lot of hope right now, like there are good things in the future for you. You don't have to be thinking about one devil or the other devil. You just keep thinking about spreading joy, spreading curiosity, spreading fun, having fun, moving towards a happier, brighter day, a happier, brighter you, and being your most authentic self in a very playful and exciting way. And people will take inspiration from you. Even if they're not, seeing the best of things for you right now, like even if they don't have like the best things to say about you or whatever, it doesn't matter, because eventually their perspective is going to change, and you don't really need to sit around wondering, thinking, or caring about what these people think about you or what they think about your situation, about your job, about your life, because you're paving a new way. And you paving that new way will just like make it easier for others to follow along in your footsteps when the time is right for them. Just like Artemisia Gentilici did. You're a pioneer, okay? You're a pioneer. And you don't have to see a million steps into the future. You just have to see the first step, and then the next step, and then the next step. Like, you take a step, and then you start looking at the next step, and then you take a step, and then you start looking at the next step. I genuinely love this for you, because the fact that you and your life and your story, whether you tell it or not, other people are going to be inspired by it. They're going to see you and they're going to be inspired by it. And you literally have so much power. You're so powerful with this magician here. You have an insane amount of agency in your life. You're a master manifester. You can have anything you want. You can do anything you want. You can be anyone you want. I'm like, who gives a fuck what any of these other people think? Genuinely, who fucking cares? It really doesn't matter. And earlier, the song Better Off Alone by Alice DJ was coming through. And I don't know if you know that song, but it was one of the jams of the 90s. It was a club hit of the 90s. And so this song Better Off Alone by Alice DJ was coming to me, and it just made me think about how sometimes you just need to do your own thing. And I feel like that is kind of reflected in this card here with the selfishness. And I actually want to read this card again. It says, alignment with source, being inside your vortex of creation, becoming one with the true expanded version of you is the ultimate selfishness. And yes, in that state of alignment, all good things must come to you. Every rocket of desire that you have launched will be fulfilled. True success is not the attainment of things, the achievement of tasks, or the achievement of financial abundance. True success is the coming into alignment with you. Yes, selfishly aligning with your desires, your clarity, your confidence, your knowledge, your love with yourself. And that essence is so perfectly displayed here with this Princess of Wands. Children, they can be, giving and loving, but they also just have this inherent kind of self-centeredness, because they're so new to the world that they're trying to just figure their way out. And it's really up to you to kind of take on that air of selfishness, but not in a negative way, of just this is my life and I want to live it the way that I want to live it, and I'm going to have fun. Kids, they don't have a lot of things to worry about most of the time. I know things are a little bit different now, but they get to just be themselves. They don't have to worry about trying to, get a promotion or fit in at work or, paying the bills or things like that. And I'm not saying that you don't have to worry about those things, but if you were to take on more of a approach to life that is fun and carefree, it would serve you very, very well. And I think that not only will people realize eventually that your way is the right way to live, but they will be able to feel freer because they know that you've already done this. And so I just think that's so cool. And it's almost like you're leading a movement without even meaning to or without even knowing it. This is making me think about like, so Chuck's came out as one of our identifiers. I don't know if I can find it. I can look for it. But that makes me think of Chucky Finster from the Rugrats. And now I'm thinking about like Tommy Pickles, how he was like the leader of the gang. And he always just wanted to like have fun. Like they're always just having fun. They're exploring, they're getting into different little things in and out of, I won't even say trouble, just in and out of adventures. And I almost like just want you to use Tommy Pickles as your role model, because he's a leader, but he's a baby. Here we go. Yeah. And Tommy always had a lot of compassion for himself and for Chucky and for the other babies. And I think that you could learn that from him too. So, yeah. Even if you feel like your back's against the wall, or, you know, like people don't understand you, or people are talking about you, or if you have some sort of like vengeance or anger that you're kind of still holding on to, I definitely encourage you to speak to somebody about it. If you can, find somebody to talk to about it. The color blue just in general may be very helpful to you. You might want to like wear blue, paint your nails blue if that's something that you like to do. I know a lot of people like to like dye their hair, you know, wear a wig, whatever it is that you want to do. You could even just like make yourself a blue painting. We did get painting as well that came out of here. So yeah, that could be very, very helpful for you. You may even just want to go and look at Artemisia's work, and you may find it inspiring as well too. There may come a time or an invitation where you are invited to take a more traditional route in your life, and may have already kind of decided and determined that that's not right for you. And going back to that, I think that you know deep down, and I'm not saying like, you know, if you're suffering, if you're in a place where you kind of like don't have any other options, like you have free will, you can do whatever you want. But Spirit is trying to say here that where you might see some level of security in like the more traditional path, it could actually really end up putting you in a place of like emotional superficiality and hopelessness. And I don't think that that's really what you want. And of course, you know, our wants, our needs, our desires, they change at different times in our lives. But like your message here is about your alignment with your authentic vibration. And I think that you've already decided that this traditional path is not authentic to you. And so even if you decide to go back to it and there's some sort of security there, you may know deep in your heart that it's a false sense of security. And going back to it could be like a self-betrayal in a lot of ways. It could feel superficial. It could feel hopeless. It could feel like it can make you angry as well. And it feels like it's like the potential for self-betrayal is here. It's like at your doorstep. It's knocking. It's coming. And you have to make a choice like what you're going to do about this. That's the vibe that I'm getting. You have to make a choice what you're going to do about this. And Spirit is encouraging you to be compassionate with yourself and to go in a place where you are the most aligned. That song like Dead and Gone by T.I. and Justin Timberlake is coming through right now. Oh, I've been traveling on this road too long, just trying to find my way back home. The old me's dead and gone, dead and gone. I throw my hands to the east, I don't see nobody by my side. I throw my hands to the west, still nobody in sight. Is that what they say? Are those the words? So I turn my head to the north, swallow that pill that they call pride. That old me dead and gone, but that new me will be alright. Okay? They want to let you know that like this new version of you is going to be okay. This authentic version of you is going to be alright. You just have to be compassionate with yourself while you're still learning and you're still growing and you're still following and forging that path. And just, you need to remember you have all the tools you need to be the version of you that you want to be. And so yeah, there's going to be some things you have to do. You have to use those tools, but you are a master manifester. And so some of you guys may want to practice like more compassionate affirmations or work on manifesting compassion for yourself and for your future. But overall, you have to remember how powerful you are, and that if you don't want to live a traditional lifestyle, you don't have to. There are other options, and I think you already know that. And if you decide to go back to that traditional life that you already decided you don't want, I think you would regret it. That's all I'm going to say. And I think you'd be bored. Spirit wants you to have fun. And it's like dragging yourself into the mud for what? Dragging yourself into the weeds for what? For what? Like, that's really the question. For a false sense of security? Why? When you could find your own real, true sense of security on your own. And that's why I think Better Off Alone came through, because especially if this is like a work situation or a business situation or just like a life situation, if you've already learned that like relying on yourself is the best way to go, why would you go ahead and try and rely on somebody else again? I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at you guys. I know you can't see me over here, but like literally I'm over here like eyeing you. Like I'm like eyeing, like I got one eye closed, the other eye's open real big. And I'm like, that's so funny to me. I never make that expression. I just think it's so funny that I just did that. So yeah. I just want to show you this card. Like, this here, I'm going to show it to you upright, and then I'll show it to you in the reverse. You see how it's like mucky and muddy down there? In the upright, it's like you can climb out of this. In the reverse, it's like you're getting stuck and weighed down in this. And you literally don't have to be. So why would you do that? It's like, this is reminding me of like a sea monster, a person coming out covered in weeds and grossness. For what? It almost makes me think of that girl from The Ring. It also makes me think about, I don't know if you guys ever saw Avatar: The Last Airbender, but when they go to the swamp and there's like the swamp water benders, and one of them like comes out covered in all of like the seaweed and the vines and stuff. And like he's powerful. He has the water bending abilities, and he like, trusts in himself, and he's out here like protecting the swamp. But like, that's not the vibe that I'm getting here. This is like being dragged down. And like, you have the power, but you're just like not using it. For what? For why? So I almost feel like there's a good question for you to ask yourself is like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing what I'm doing? For what? And if the answer isn't something enjoyable, then like maybe change your mind. You have free will. Do what you want to do, but that's just what the cards are saying. So yeah. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Please, please, please like this video. Give it a thumbs up. I love you. I'm rooting for you. Let me know in the comments if this resonated for you, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. up, pile 3? What up? What up? Is anybody watching Griselda on Netflix? Because I'm watching it. Anyway, that's why I felt like saying hola, hola. But whatever. Moving on. We're here for our identifiers. If you wanted to skip this part and go straight to the part with the cards, that timestamp will be down below for pile 3 reading. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. These identifiers are meant to help you to determine if you chose correctly with your intuition. So at least one of the things that comes out on the slips in this bowl should be really familiar to you, should be significant to you somehow, could have shown up in your life in like the past few weeks, possibly even the past couple of months. Maybe the last like 3 months. But that would be like really significant to where you would remember it. Anyway, Spirit, my people who chose pile 3, I would like to connect with their guides, angels, benevolent ancestors, and higher selves so that they can know who they are. Let's identify those people in pile 3. We're gonna get this message out for you. While I'm doing this, please like this video, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel. Anybody else in pile 3, Spirit? Who are my pile 3 people? All right. Here we go. Let's stick this right here. And let's get to it. My pile 3 people, I love you. I just want you to know that. I love you. All right, let's see. We've got here pineapple. Maybe that's like your favorite fruit. Maybe you ate a pineapple today. Or maybe you like have a pineapple plant or whatever. I don't know. Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist. Maybe you're like making something with pineapple in it right now. Or like pineapple sorbet or ice cream or something like that. Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist, that is a movie. It was a book. I mean, I guess it still is a book, but they turned it into a movie. The movie stars Michael Cera and Kat Dennings. Block party. You could have gone to a block party. Maybe you're going to a block party. That is supposed to also be the band Block Party, so maybe you're a fan of theirs. Okay. Nick Miller, New Girl. So the name Nick is coming up quite a bit. So that could be significant to you somehow. We've got here Ruby Woo. That is a lipstick by MAC. The number 7 is here. That is the month of July. That could also be like the 7th floor, 7th apartment, 7th street, 7th avenue. You could have 7 people in your family. July is for Cancer and Leo. You could also be seeing 777 around as well. We have here pink velvet. That could be like a fabric that you have in your house. That also makes me think of like Velvet Taco in Austin. I don't know if they have it anywhere else, but Gordon Parks. He's a photographer, or he was a photographer. Let's open this up. The Departed. So yeah, I think that's weird that that just came out because I was like, Gordon Parks is a photographer. And then I was like, oh, he was a photographer because he passed away. And then we have The Departed come out right afterwards. So you might be dealing with grief in some way, shape, or form. Yeah, I'll just put it like that. We have here Beverly Hills. So that could be the actual Beverly Hills in the LA area. That could also be the song by Weezer. And then as soon as I opened it up, it made me think of Beverly Hillbillies as well. Marilyn Monroe, Nicki Minaj. So Nicki Minaj made a song called Marilyn Monroe. But this can also just reference Marilyn Monroe herself. George Clooney, actor. Search Party, that is a TV show starring Aaliyah Shawkat. At least I don't know how to say her last name. Shawkat? I don't know. She was on Arrested Development. Arrested Development could come through too, because wasn't Michael Cera on there? I think he was. I didn't really watch that show, but I'm pretty sure he was on there. Dreamgirls. Dreamgirls. Where are your Dreamgirls? That also makes me think of the Supremes, of course. But Dreamgirls, the movie or the Broadway play. Chasing Liberty. That's interesting. Chasing Liberty came out, so that's a movie starring Mandy Moore. It definitely has like Roman Holiday vibes. At least so I've been told, because I've never seen Roman Holiday. But Search Party, they like, in Chasing Liberty, it's like they have to put out a search party for Mandy Moore's character. So maybe you've been looking for somebody recently. Nice by Beyonce and Jay-Z. I was about to say something, but I really don't want to say it. So I'm not going to. But Search Party, you can probably guess what I'm going to say. You know what? I'll say this. You might have recently gotten like an Amber Alert or something on your phone. Okay, so I'll say that. Hopefully you don't know anybody who's missing. Monopoly. My condolences if you do. Monopoly, that could be like the game. That could also be that song by Ariana Grande and Victoria Monet. I've been on the road. Where have you been? Patti LaBelle, iconic singer. Cheesy snacks. So that could be your favorite type of snack. You might be eating a cheesy snack right now. Save a horse, ride a cowboy. Big and Rich. That's a song. It's a country song. We have here Bracelet. And when I was opening that, it made me think of, like, I thought I saw Barcelona. So that could be important to you as well. But you could have like a very special bracelet. You might be wearing a special bracelet. Maybe you bought one recently or gifted one, or maybe somebody gifted you one. The Game. That's a TV show. I also have the name on here, Jason. That was one of the characters on there named Jason Pitts. We have here Haterade. Jason Pitts is definitely a hater, for sure. But I just feel like I need to mention The Game. That's a TV show starring Tia Mowry on there. Los Angeles. So, little LA energy coming through with like New Girl, Beverly Hills, Los Angeles itself. So yeah, interesting. We have here Heart of Dixie. I also have the initials RB up in the corner. That stands for Rachel Bilson. She was the star of that show, playing Dr. Zoe Hart. Black Truck by Mariba. I don't know how to say her name. A Tribe Called Quest. Iconic hip-hop group. I want to talk about Q-Tip for some reason. All right, let's see. Who do we have here? Pirates. That makes me think of actual pirates, but also makes me think of like pirating music and movies and stuff like that. Is It a Crime by Sade. Is it a crime? Dreams and Nightmares by Meek Mill. So that's our second mention of dreams. We have Dreamgirls, and now we have Dreams and Nightmares by Meek Mill. So you might have really vivid dreams, really intense dreams. Maybe you're like remembering your dream from the other night. Maybe one of these things came up in one of your dreams or something like that. We have here Rooftop Pool. I know because I saw pool at the end, and that's the only one that says that. Rooftop pool. So like you might have a rooftop pool. Maybe you recently went to a rooftop pool or something. That could be one of those things where it was like a few months ago you went to a rooftop pool. Splinter by Spilltab. I'm not gonna brave the winter and wear us then to say we did. We did. We did. Self-date. You could be taking yourself out on a date. you could like to do that. Maybe you go a lot of places alone or something like that. Maybe you're like the seventh wheel. Maybe like you have a few friends who are in a couple, like 3 couples, and you're the seventh wheel or something. Girlfriends, more LA energy. That is a TV show starring Tracee Ellis Ross, who is Diana Ross's daughter. I said the Supremes were coming through. Diana Ross and the Supremes, you already know. But Tracee Ellis Ross is the star of Girlfriends. That show is set in LA. It also, The Game was a spin-off of Girlfriends. So Tia Mowry on this show was supposed to be Tracee Ellis Ross's cousin. Tia Mowry, her character's name, what's her character's name? Melanie was supposed to be Joan, who is played by Tracee Ellis Ross. Melanie was Joan's cousin. Okay. Portions for Foxes by Rilo Kiley. That's a song. So like maybe something to do with your cousin, I don't know. Or spin-offs, I don't know. Pranks, Punked. So you could be really into pranks, maybe something to do with pranks. Maybe you got pranked recently. Punked is a TV show by Ashton Kutcher where he was going around pranking celebrities. Winston Bishop is also coming through. We have Nick Miller on here, New Girl. Famously, Winston loved to do pranks on that show, so that's coming through as well. And Winston and Nick were best friends. We have here Randall Park, actor. You may know him from Always Be My Maybe, or he was also the dad on Fresh Off the Boat. Louis Wong. We have here Chad Michael Murray, another actor, a 3-name actor. He was on One Tree Hill. He was also on like A Cinderella Story and a few other things. He was like a teen heartthrob for a minute. We have here Anniversary by Tony. What else? Here, I have $100. $100. Sorry, my Spanish is bad right now, guys. Stuffed grape leaves, that's food. That could be like your favorite food. You might eat those often, or maybe you ate them recently. We have here Substack. That is a website where people write stuff and you can subscribe to their writings on Substack. What do we have here? Skywalker Miguel featuring Travis Scott. Skywalking on my haters, swish. Take a shot, take a chance, just enjoy the moment. Number 2, so that's February. That is Aquarius and Pisces energy. Immediately I'm thinking of Megan Thee Stallion and Rihanna. I'm also thinking about Paris Hilton right now. You could live on the 2nd floor, 2nd Street, 2nd Avenue. Now I'm thinking about 2nd Avenue subway. Does it exist? I don't think so. Maybe it does. I don't know. Which that whole thing is coming from The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. So that could be something too. You could be seeing the number 222, 2222, something like that. Angela Bassett. Also, I'll say February 7th could be important, or July 2nd could be important. Angela Bassett is a lovely actress. My girlfriends. She was not on that show. I just felt like I had to sing the Girlfriends theme song. Cricket. So that's supposed to be the game of cricket, but it could also be actual crickets. Also, on Heart of Dixie, there was a character named Cricket, and she eventually comes out as a lesbian. So, make of that what you will. Houston. I knew Megan Thee Stallion energy was coming through here. Yes. MTS. Megan Thee Stallion. Boston is also coming through, and right now so is Married at First Sight. When I said MTS, there was a character. He's not a character. He's a real person. His name is Mark the Shark, and he was on... I just said the name of the show, and I already forgot it. Oh my goodness. Married at First Sight, the Boston season. We have here Mike's Mike from YouTube. Shout out to Mike's Mike. He does a lot of like movie and TV show recaps. Love him. Last but not least, what do we have here? Jill Zarin. My favorite of the housewives of New York. Married to Bobby. They work in the garment industry. Well, unfortunately, Bobby is dearly departed, but yes, shout out to Jill. I feel like she's like sailing around on a yacht right now or something. Anyway, all right, so some things that I'm noticing. We have MM. Those initials could be important for some people. We have Meek Mill. We've got Marilyn Monroe. We've also got Mike's Mike, so MM. Park could be important, like maybe you're going to the park, or maybe that's your last name or somebody's last name. We have Gordon Parks and Randall Park here, so that is definitely coming through. There are some New York City type of vibes coming through here as well, from Nicki Minaj being here, Jill Zarin being here. She was a Real Housewife of New York. A Tribe Called Quest being here. Queens could be important as well, since Nicki and A Tribe Called Quest both have ties to Queens. What else am I thinking of? I feel like there's, Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist also. New York kind of plays a very big part. It's almost like a character in that movie. So, and of course, Jay-Z is here too. So yeah, New York is coming through pretty strongly. And then last but not least, we have Nicki Minaj here and Meek Mill. They used to be a couple. They're not anymore, but that energy is coming through. So 3 songs that they had together, any of these could be relevant to you somehow. And then there's going to be one other song by Nicki Minaj that I'm going to mention. So we've got All Eyes on You, which was, there's actually 4 songs that they have together. So All Eyes on You, Bad for You, By a Heart, and Big Daddy. All of those. Oh, and there's actually 2 other songs as well that I forgot about. I Beyond Dat, and Dope Dealer. And then Nicki Minaj's song I'm going to mention because she says haterade in it. She's like, here goes some haterade, get your thirst quenched. I believe that's from Chun-Li. The lyrics to Chun-Li. Chun-Li is definitely coming through also because she makes a lot of references to like her being on the court, in the game, things like that. So the game being right here. Alrighty then. I'm going to go write these down in my tarot journal. And I will see you guys in a little bit. If you are interested in purchasing your own tarot journal, I did make one for y'all. The link is in the description box, so go check it out. I'll see you guys in just a second. Hey there, pile 3. Welcome, welcome. If you chose this 3rd card, then your intuition brought you here, and we're about to get ready. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. It really does make us more connected. And when you like the video, it helps it to spread a little farther on YouTube so other people who may need to hear this message can find it. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into the cards. This is a message to inspire you. We're going to go ahead and just start straight away with this card here. We've got Eve Klein. Interesting that there's more blue on this card. I don't know if you have messages in pile 2. I'm not super getting that quite yet, but blue was like quite a theme in pile 2. We have here from Eve Klein, learn everything from nothing. Include yourself in your list of materials and enroll in a judo class. Something that I'm noticing here is that enroll is spelled incorrectly. So you may be like a spelling or a grammar person, like who's really into that kind of thing. You might also be into like the gym or fighting or something like that. All right, let's take a look. There could be some messiness in your life overall right now. I'm just thinking about like this blue splatter on this card. Yeah, there could be some messiness in your life right now. I'm also getting the idea of like word vomit. You might have said too much or said more. You might have like embarrassed yourself in saying something or something like that. You could be a teacher or something to do with school. You might be a student. But yeah, I say that because we have like learn everything, and then we also have enroll and class here. So thinking about students and teachers. His hand posture here is almost making me think of like somebody who's holding like a spray can. So I'm getting kind of like graffiti artist here as well. So interesting. All right, let me go ahead and read from the Arts Oracle book about Eve Klein. Let's see what we can learn. All right, so Eve Klein saw depth in monochrome and something in nothing, confronting emptiness in exhibitions such as 1958's The Void, a bare gallery painted white. Nude models sometimes served as Klein's paintbrushes. He'd cover bodies in paint and direct them in movements across canvases. In 1960, Klein patented his own color, International Klein Blue, satisfying his desire to capture the ambiguity between earth and sky. That same year, Klein did A Leap into the Void, a photograph of himself soaring over a quiet street, having just leapt from the top of a wall. To deal with the stress of nothing, he found his zen through a lifelong study of judo. Interesting. Okay, so like the first thought that I had was like, go ahead, girl, give us nothing. So maybe somebody said that to you. Maybe you recently saw somebody say that or you read it somewhere. But definitely that was coming through to me. There is like a sense of nihilism also kind of coming through here where it's like wondering if anything matters, wondering if nothing matters. You could be having some existentialism going on here, possibly a little existential crisis. That may not resonate for all of you. But like being able to live in ambiguity is coming through here pretty strongly. Maybe you don't know where you're going to land. Maybe you don't know what's next. Maybe you yourself have like a lot of creative ideas. Maybe you're an inventor. Maybe you are a photographer of some kind, or you might just have an interest in that kind of thing. I am also getting the idea of spectacle coming through. Spectacle, social experiment, doing something for kind of like the thrill of it, but also to shock people and maybe to even cause just like a moment of fear, even if it's like not real, you know? It's kind of like, okay, so Pranks and Punked came out and you could actually yourself, you know, you might be really into pranks and stuff like that because it gives people that moment of shock and fear where, you know, they don't know if like they're going to get in trouble or they don't know if, you know, what's going to happen next, if something bad's going to happen or if somebody's going to come out and, you know, admit to punking them. Like I'm literally thinking about Punked and how Ashton Kutcher, he would have like kind of extreme pranks on there where celebrities would like be really genuinely worried that they hurt someone or that they were like gonna go to jail for something that they did or that somebody was like about to hurt them, you know, things like that, because he would have so many people who would be in on it. And it was always like about this moment where people really just like, it was like, what the fuck is going on? It was almost like they were transported to like an alternate reality where nothing was as it seemed and like they just didn't know, you know? And like a moment later, however many moments later, he would come out and he would reveal that it was all a prank, and you could see just like this huge level of relief on their face. And that's kind of like the energy that I'm getting right now. And I'm not saying that you're going around pranking people, but shock value is coming through. And it's interesting to think about like nihilism in that lens, because let's say, for example, that you don't believe that anything matters, or you're wondering like, what's the point of it all? Then moments like that, like the punked moments and the shock value moments, they offer real genuine value, because they just like give life a moment of fun and silliness, and they almost offer this meaning where there is no meaning. You know, it's like a prank doesn't mean anything. You know, it's just like a fun and silly, dumb thing to do. But like that in itself can offer value, you know? Especially in a place where you're not really sure like what the value actually is. And I think that that's really interesting. I just got really deep. It's like kind of meta a little bit. For those of you guys who are not aware of what meta is, it's like, it's about the thing itself. It's like discussing the thing itself. So, for example, metacognition is thinking about thinking. If you were to write about writing, that would be meta, right? Like if you're writing about the process of writing, that's meta in itself. If you are to, let's say that I was going to read tarot about the tarot, that would be meta tarot. Okay? A prank is almost like a way to like test reality, especially a prank for a nihilist. It's like creating a fake reality inside of a fake reality, or creating something that doesn't mean anything inside of something else that doesn't mean anything. Like that's a very meta experience. And so you might have a lot of meta kind of experiences. You might be a very deep thinker. You might like to get into philosophy and kind of like figuring out kind of like, what does this all mean? You know, you might have that kind of view of the world. Learn everything from nothing. This is also making me think about like, not binaries, but like the distance between 2 points. And we all know that within that distance, there's so much, there's like an infinite amount between 0 and 1. And that's been proven, right? So learning everything, which could be the 1, from nothing, which could be the 0. Yeah, you guys are very, very deep thinkers. That's what I'm going to leave this with right now. You guys are very deep thinkers, and it's like, in a way, it's very inspiring. And I think Spirit is telling you that you can do something with these trains of thought that you have. I think something interesting about kind of like the time where we are now in the world, and I don't know when you're going to be watching this. This is a timeless reading, but do people study like new philosophers? You know, I know that a lot of people study really ancient philosophers from like ancient Greece and stuff like that. But like, where are the new philosophers? What are they writing about? Who's reading them? You know? It's like the idea of adding your perspective to the canon. Your perspective being added to the zeitgeist is a really interesting thing. And I feel like you have something really valuable, a really valuable perspective that people now or later could really benefit from. So you might want to start writing some things down, okay? Okay, writer, okay, teacher, okay, student. Little Miss Sunshine is coming up right now, that movie. And I'm just thinking about how the brother in that movie, he was kind of like a nihilist, and he was always thinking about Nietzsche. And yeah, I don't know what the point of me saying that was, but it's coming up right now. And you know, the idea of him, so no spoilers, this movie has been out forever. But like he really wants to be like a pilot. And then he finds out later on that he can't because he's colorblind. So Winston Bishop was coming through. Winston Bishop is coming through, okay? We had Nick Miller here from New Girl. And when Pranks came out, I was like, this is giving Winston energy. For those of you guys who have seen New Girl, Winston and Nick were like best friends. And Winston was a notorious prankster who his pranks were always like too big or too small. But he was colorblind. And it became kind of like a point later on in the show. But in that movie, Little Miss Sunshine, one of the characters, he really wants to be a pilot, and he finds out that he can't because he's colorblind. And he had been like literally working towards it for so long. And when he finds out that like his dream is dead, he already was like really into nihilism and stuff. But when he finds out that his dream is dead, it literally like it breaks him. Like it breaks him. It was heartbreaking to watch that scene, at least for me. But you know, I kind of feel like maybe you had one of these moments where it was like all of your dreams are deferred, which is now making me think of Langston Hughes. Or like, I don't even want to say your dreams died, because that just feels inaccurate, and I think that it's never too late to achieve your dreams. That's my personal opinion. But I guess like thinking about that particular situation, it's like, yeah, that guy probably never is going to fly a plane. At least not on his own, because he's colorblind. I guess he could do it like, you know how, well, I don't know if you know this, but when I was 26, I took like a plane lesson, like a flying lesson for my birthday. And so, you know, you go up with like an actual experienced pilot, and they let you, you know, do the controls and stuff for a little while you're up in the air, but they're really the one flying the plane, and they only give you like a few minutes to take over and stuff. But like he could probably do something like that, but he could never actually fly a plane on his own. He couldn't be a pilot. And so I think that there is a level of, I guess, like false optimism sometimes that people have, and maybe even, you know, people in the spiritual community. I guess I myself could be considered guilty of it based upon the conversation that I just had with myself. But that doesn't mean that like all your dreams are dead forever. It just means that some certain things aren't meant for us. And I think that you might be coming to terms with something like that in this time, in this moment, that certain things maybe weren't meant for you, but that doesn't mean that other things are not. And that goes back to Winston again. You know, he started off his career as a professional basketball player. He ends up having to go overseas. He comes back to LA and like doesn't know what he's going to do. And he goes through a lot of different types of jobs before he finally realizes that he wants to become a police officer. And so that's what he does. And then he becomes very successful at it. But like sometimes a dream can change. One dream can become a different dream. And you might, you know, try out a dream and figure out you don't even like that shit. You don't even like what you thought you were going to like. And then you end up wanting to do something else. So yeah, let's go ahead and see what these other cards have to say for you. We've got a couple of different oracles, and then we'll get into the tarot. What do we have here? We've got do some simple stretching for 5 minutes. This is like a chill out kind of scenario. And also, I want to say stretching not only your body, but also like your mind and your imagination, and like, oh, the places you'll go. Like think about different things, stretch your imagination, and also like going into the idea of philosophy. Philosophers, like they are trying to push the bounds of normal thinking, right? So do that just for 5 minutes and see where your mind takes you. Be aware of what is worth your energy. So going back to the idea of like everything and nothing, some things are worth your energy and some things are not. And then we have here, include yourself in your list of materials. When you're aware of what is worth your energy, you're able to put yourself into positions that are actually beneficial for you. Some of you guys may need to do some yoga. As I just said, like put yourself into positions. That makes me think of like yoga poses. All right, we also have here a card from the Get Into the Vortex Oracle. My relationships are supposed to feel good. Your life is supposed to feel good to you. Before your birth, you knew that the primary component of your physical experience that would offer the greatest value for your personal and collective expansion and joy would be the relationships that you would experience with each other. It was your plan to relish the diversity of your relationships and to choose from them the details that would make up your creations. And here you are. And so this is really speaking to me because the idea of include yourself in your list of materials, like you are an active person in the relationships that you create with others. And those relationships, the diversity of them, you get to pick and choose from those relationships how you, like the principles and the lessons that you take with you that determine how you see the world. So not only is this like reflection for you, but it also shapes your worldview. And you can choose to take all, nothing, or some things from the relationships in terms of lessons learned. And sometimes certain things, certain people were not worth your energy, and you have to learn to leave those people behind, leave those situations behind. But you also have to be able to stretch your mind enough in order to be able to dream and to see past what is right in front of you, because what's right in front of you is not all that there is. And what you think a situation is, it may not actually even be that at all. Going back to the whole punked thing. It may not be what it is. It may not be what it appears to be. So take what feels good. Take what feels good to you and craft your vision around that. All right, let's get some inspiring messages. Spirit. We want a message to inspire pile 3. My pile 3 people, guides, angels, benevolent ancestors, and higher self, please bring in a message to inspire pile 3. A message to inspire pile 3. All right, we got the Wheel of Fortune here. I'm going to put that here upright. We also got the 8 of Cups here in the reverse, which we got that in pile 2. Amy, here we go, 6 of Cups. A message to inspire pile 3. Oh, interesting, 6 of Cups, then the 7 of Cups. We have the 9 of Wands here. We have the, which one goes first? 4 of Wands, and then we have the Queen of Swords in reverse. Any last words? Last words. Okay. I'm getting this idea that like things don't always have to be perfect. Things don't always have to be so perfect in life. And you don't always have to look for meaning in everything either. That's coming through pretty strongly at this point as well. Sometimes things don't mean anything. Sometimes, like, not every single thing is a sign. And trust me, I do believe in synchronicities for sure. And I believe that synchronicities can happen anywhere at any time. But not every single thing is a sign. Sometimes it's okay to just have fun and do things for fun. And sometimes, like, hedonism can have more value than you give it. Doing something just for the fun of it. There is a message here about excess. I'm wondering here about like gambling. I'm wondering if some of you guys are into gambling or of some sort. We did get the game that came out. Some of you guys could be into like sports betting or something like that. Since we have this Wheel of Fortune here. And then we also have the Seven of Cups. That can be about overindulgence. I'm wondering if some of you guys may be overindulged in something in the past and you might be like on an upswing right now. And if that's the case, then like Spirit wants you to know that you are doing a great job and you can find ways of seeking pleasure, of getting that same kind of like high that you got before without using the same methodology that you used before. Like there are other ways to have fun. There are other ways to, you know, get that same feeling. You have options. You have more options now than you did before. And so they don't want you to go back to that place where you used to be. And they definitely see you on the upswing and they're like really proud of you and they're really excited for you. And they know that this is hard. They know that it takes a lot of willpower and a lot of strength, and that strength may be kind of taking it all out of you sometimes. You might be like, what's the point of me even doing this? Like, what's the point of life? I don't need to, you know, be trying this hard for this bullshit because like, who cares? Life is lifing, life is hard. I just want to go have fun. But I think that you know that things are better for you now than they were back when you were doing whatever it is you were doing. Especially if what you were doing was like actively hurting yourself or other people. And they want you to know that like you have made a positive connection. And even if you didn't see it all the way through, or if it didn't go where you wanted it to go, I think it gave you a glimpse of how things could be. And it gave you a glimpse of like all the positivity and the beauty that there is in the world. And even if you're in a space right now of worry, or if you're having some sort of financial hardship, your spirit guides want you to know that like they see you and you are on the up and up. Like you are doing so much better than you were doing before, and they're so proud of you. And the worrying behind it, you're actually in a much more stable place. Even if it doesn't seem like it, you have to remember like where you came from. You have to remember that you got yourself out of some kind of a hole or out of some kind of a pit or whatever this is. And like, be grateful. So something that I'm getting for some of you guys is that you may have gone on a date recently and maybe it didn't lead anywhere, and that kind of could have caused you to be a little bit upset or kind of feel like, you know, we were talking earlier about kind of like, what's the point, blah, blah, blah. But going back to what I was saying earlier, I think that it showed you kind of like the potential of what could be. And that in itself is a win. Even if it didn't end up going where you wanted it to go, like that in itself is a win. And not everybody is for you. Remember, your relationships are supposed to feel good. So they should feel good the majority of the time. Some of you guys, I did mention overindulgence, possibly. That could be with food, it could be with alcohol, it could be with like risky behaviors as well. So for some of you guys, you may be working on kind of holding back from that and of kind of developing more willpower in some ways instead of just like jumping off. Okay, so for example, you know how like when you're on a diet and then maybe like you go somewhere and they have pizza and you have like a slice of pizza and you're like, well, fuck it, I already broke my diet, I might as well have another slice of pizza. And like 2 slices of pizza, that's fine. But then you're like, okay, I might as well fuck it. I already might as well have a 3rd slice of pizza and a 4th. And it's like, because you made one mistake, you kind of feel like, let me just go ahead and just jump off this cliff and do whatever. And I think that you're developing willpower right now to like not do that and to work a little bit harder on recognizing when something is like can be or needs to be done, or when, like, for example, you're full, or when something is over, and like accepting it. Because I think in the past you may have had issues accepting those kinds of things before, and Spirit wants you to know that if that's the case, like, even if it's still ruminating in your mind, even if you're still worried about it, like, you're not as worried, I think, as you used to be, and you're mentally coming to a place that's a little bit more balanced and healthier than it used to be. There might still be some negativity there, but like, it's not as bad as it was. It wasn't like, I think before it was kind of like, okay, well, I'm having all these negative thoughts, I'm gonna careen all the way off and like spin all the way out. Now I feel like you're able to contain it a little bit more. And that's progress. So like, recognize where progress is and be aware of what is worth your energy, and understand that like, progress is still progress, and you should be proud of yourself for that. And something physical really could help you. Like it says here, enroll in a judo class, do some simple stretching for 5 minutes. Like, enroll in something or start doing something physical, because it really, I think, will help you to get that mental clarity that you need, want, and are looking for. And even if it doesn't seem like you are becoming more stable on the outside, like, I think that you know that you're finding more security where you are. There's a lot of gray in this reading. And so I'm wondering if, like, you know, something interesting, I didn't say it earlier, but when I was talking about the like infinite space between 0 and 1, I was talking about how, like, you know, some people could consider that like 0 and 1 like a binary, right? But there are shades of gray in between. And I didn't say that, but like, I was thinking about it. And there's a lot of gray here. And I think that you could be learning to see things not so black and white. Like, you're learning to understand that even negative things have some sort of positive edge to them, and not all that glitters is gold. And so there is nothing that is like 100% anything. And everything has some sort of duality to it. And you're learning how to integrate that into your awareness. And I think it's a little bit tough, but like, it's doable, and you're doing it. And Spirit is so proud of you for that. And you should be proud of yourself for that. And that, I think, is where like that idea of philosophy comes in, because philosophically, it's like there's always some sort of argument that you can make on one side or on the other side. And nothing is ever set in stone when it comes to how we experience the world and what we believe. And there's always something to live for. There's always something new to experience. And I think that you're learning that, even if it is like slowly, you're learning that. And it's exciting. And like, the 6 of Cups here and the 7 of Cups show me that like, you have so many options. You may not see all of them all the time, but you have so many options. And like, you have a lot of people who care about you, and you have a lot of fun. Or like, you have the potential to have a lot of fun and to have a lot of pleasure as well too in this life. So stay strong. Stay strong. And some of you guys, like, you might need to keep going out on dates and finding new people. Like, especially if you're single, like, go out on dates and find new people. And it's okay to be rejected. You know, most of the time people are going to be rejected. Like, typically we only end up with one person, unless you're polyamorous, then you might end up with a few people. But like, you're not going to end up with every single person that you go out with, you know? The dating game, it's a game. And that's not to say like, go around playing games with people's heart, but like, I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying is that you win some, you lose some. And, you know, stay strong. It's not as serious, I think, as you're making it out to be. And remember, your relationships are supposed to feel good. I do also want to say that I kind of feel like this reading is a little bit of a warning for some of you. You are on an upswing. Like, that is undeniable. You need to know that. But you're also at a point in your life where, like, you're being tested, and spirit does not want you to slip back into old negative behaviors just because you think they feel good. Because certain things that you like to do, you definitely do to excess, to a point where they lead you to a place that you do not want to be. They lead you to a place where you've given up your values, you've given up your strength, you're repeating cycles that you don't need to repeat, you're making bad decisions, you're not thinking clearly, and then like you're out of money, or you are in a place that's really unstable and really where you're really unhappy and you're now concerned and worried. And so whenever you feel the urge to go and do something like that, whether, let's say, for example, you are maybe overindulgent in gambling or drinking or drugs, like if you feel like going and doing that thing that you know you're not supposed to be doing, instead, go do some simple stretching for 5 minutes. See if the feeling passes. Maybe go and do some, go to the gym or take a group fitness class or whatever it is. Go take your phone, go walk around outside and take some pictures. Wait for 5 minutes and see if the feeling passes, because oftentimes it will. Oftentimes it really will. We don't have to do every single thing that we feel urged to do. I'm going to tell you guys like a personal little story. So I have this resolution for this year. Okay, drinking is not an issue for me. I just don't love to do it anymore because it gives me headaches. I don't like being hungover the next day. I can get hungover even if I just have one drink, and it really bothers me because I lose a lot of time the next day when I could be doing other productive things. Instead, I just want to stay in bed. And then also because I am a singer, it really messes with my voice. And so I made a resolution for 2024 that I was not going to be drinking. And I ended up going to Mardi Gras this year, and I was with some friends, and they were drinking, and I was just kind of like, oh, like a couple drinks, it's not like it's gonna hurt or anything. And for me, it's not like a slippery slope. I don't have an issue with that, where it's like if I have one, I have to have multiple. It's not like that for me. It really is just like I don't like being hungover. But like I got the urge, and I had this resolution to myself. Like I had this promise to myself that I wasn't going to do that. And I had this really strong urge, like, it's Mardi Gras, like I'm here with my friends, like, I can drink, it's fine, like let me just do it. And I decided to wait for 5 minutes, and the urge passed. And like I was having a ton of fun without drinking. I didn't need to do it for any reason other than just like the nostalgia of it. And Six of Cups can speak a lot about nostalgia. So like you might miss the old days when you were doing XYZ, whatever habits that you were into of overindulgence. And so like you might just miss those. And oftentimes people say that we miss the ritual of whatever it is. We miss the ritual of whatever it is more than we miss the thing itself. And so I think for me, like that was kind of it. Like I missed the idea of drinking with my friends more than I missed actually drinking, right? And I waited for 5 minutes, and like I didn't want to drink anymore. I didn't want to do it. It was gone. And I know like me not being an addict, like that's not, I can't give advice from the perspective of somebody who is an addict, who's in active recovery and things like that. I can't give that perspective. But the inspiration and the advice that Spirit wants me to give through you is like, wait for 5 minutes. You get the urge, wait for 5 minutes and see what happens. And then if you still want to do whatever it is after 5 minutes, maybe wait for 5 more minutes, and just take it 5 minutes at a time. Take it 5 minutes at a time. Because I think that if you end up making a decision against what you kind of like told yourself that you wanted to do, you're going to end up repeating a cycle that you didn't want to repeat, and you're going to feel disappointed in yourself. You're going to feel sad, and maybe you're going to end up spending money that you weren't planning on spending and that you really needed for something else or whatever, right? Be aware of what is worth your energy. And it's okay to be working on yourself. It's okay to work on yourself. We all are working on ourselves to a certain degree, so don't feel self-conscious about that. And it's interesting because I think like sometimes we don't realize that we could all just be a few bad decisions away from being like in the hole or being in a place that we don't want to be in, you know? So don't put yourself there on purpose, and do what you can to continue to make good decisions for yourself and to stand by what you said you were going to do. And you have options, so use those options and find that pleasure in another way. Find it somewhere else. Don't forget to follow my channel, subscribe to my channel, please, and like this video. And if you would like to comment down below, I would love to hear more about your experience, what it is that you're going through. And if I can offer you some encouraging words, I absolutely will. I love you. Thank you so much for being here with me, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day, night, evening, whenever you're watching this. I'm sending you so much love. I hope you feel it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.